Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? Happy Thursday. I am doing well, and I hope you are too. So let's start with our gold, and then we'll get into football. All right, gold, 27.60. Just made a nice little move at 6 o'clock. It's been hanging around. It dropped at 8 o'clock to 27.38, and immediately went back to 27.58, and now it's finally 27.60. It was at 27.60 yesterday. Let's look for the push. Tomorrow is Friday to get to 2,800, and then we're on our way. It's amazing how many times I keep hearing silver is volatile. It moves twice as fast as gold. And based on what? Based on the derivative markets that have been price fixing it. So you have no idea how silver is going to move and why would it be volatile? It's only volatile because they're doing derivatives. If you just let the free market take over, not going to be volatile at all. It'll be bought up and bought up and bought up, and the price will just keep going. There's no reason for the price to drop. So I was watching something about how there new things coming out that need gold. I think medical or something, and that needs silver. And it's like that's such a small part of it. That is not why silver price. It'll be money. It'll be gold will get too expensive, and people will run to silver. That's what's going to happen. So as far as these new things for silver, it's really not. That's not true. It's there for the money, just like gold. You would use gold for these things, but it's too expensive. So silver will jump too. And again, everybody's, when's it going to jump? Oh, it's not going to jump. Da 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 da. And they're just, you're fighting COMEX and you're fighting JP Morgan and you're fighting China and Russia who want the price low. That's who you're fighting. Okay, we get that. But BRICS is about to break it up. So that's all we know, and that's what we can do about it. So we'll get more into economics. Just like to start with my gold as always. And when the smoke clears and the shit hits the fan, the only thing left will be gold. I know all you Bitcoiners. I mean, don't leave me a message at the end of the last class. Bitcoin. Bitcoin what? What is your point about it? If you're going to say you're into it, then tell me why. And explain how something that's price fixed by the Russians and Saylor and these guys, how it has any value at all. All right. So let's get on to football. First, let's look at NFL weather. And we've got Washington, Philly. We got 38, partly cloudy with 12-mile-an-hour winds. So the wind's been changing. It was light winds. Now it's heavier. Partly cloudy with a low around 23. So it's saying 38 and probably around 6 o'clock. And then the winds, I don't know. Kansas City, Buffalo, 32 and clear, light winds. Let's see what it really is. Mostly clear and a low around 24. So I guess the wind chills. So basically, you got 2 clear days. You don't have any rain. You don't have any snow, which for Philadelphia and KC, these are very mild days here. Anything in the 30s, because last year Kansas City hosted Miami. It was 10 below zero or something like that, or 10 degrees. It was very, very chilly. All right, NFL odds. Same thing. Philly is 6.5, 47.5. Kansas City's 1.5, 48.5. I have played these games. They're on teaserking.com. Washington is a B team. I haven't really changed their rankings. They're probably more of an over team the way they played the Lions. But Philly doesn't have the offense that Detroit does. I can tell when people listen to me because I was very specific that Jared Goff choked. And so I start hearing it on the radio. Well, he's a choker. I go, I know where he got that from. And I hear a lot of what I say on the radio. So the radio hosts don't want to go there, but it's true. Everywhere he's went, he's choked in the big game. He's never won a big game. Even when he was on the Rams, it was Todd Gurley running that, and then he'd do a couple of play action passes where he'd throw for 150 yards. It was all play action. That's all he can do. Very bad pocket passer. And as you can see, in every big game, he falls apart, throws a lot of interceptions. Happened in Baltimore last year when they lost 38-0. He threw like 5 picks. Happened in Houston, and they were able to win. Now it happens to Buffalo, turnovers, and now here against Washington, turnovers. Their defense is atrocious. Even with Hutchinson last year, they gave up 30 points to the Niners. Hutchinson played in that game, didn't he? So it's the good excuses. Well, we had injuries. Well, that's football. Of course you're going to have injuries. So Philadelphia is 6.5. Basically a B team or an over team. They give up 23, but they score 30 a game. Philly scores upper 20s, gives up 18. Daniels against Hurts. Washington is 17-2 in a teaser, as well as 13-2 as a road dog. So in trends, yes, they're very good. Philadelphia at home is 14-3 as a home favorite. I don't know. They're not. I only care about like over 85% if I'm going to use percentages. So they're 14-3 as a home favorite. So was Detroit last week. Buffalo an A team with the 22 defense and Allen. Buffalo is 16-3 in a teaser, and 6-1 as a road dog for the last 2 years. Kansas City is 15-3 as a home favorite. 7-1 is a home favorite this year, and play against 7-1 as a home favorite. So what you have is KC playing a lot of close games at home. Except for last week, it was 23-14, but they were laying 8.5, sometimes 9. So they gave up the safety at the end to cover for Houston. I don't know. I don't mind what he did because they were up. They were up 23-12. They were up 11. He could have punted the ball out of bounds, and that would have been it anyway, but we'll see. So, first game, Washington, Philly. Jalen Daniels looks very good. They're playing very good football. They beat Philly. They beat Atlanta to get into the playoffs. They beat Tampa at Tampa, which is not an easy thing. And to win at Detroit is definitely not an easy thing. Ask Minnesota, ask Green Bay. So when we look at it, um, they won at Philly and they won at Detroit. So why would I not think they're going to win? I heard some idiot on the radio, and he's like going, "Well, I like Philly 6.5 because," and he made some stupid excuses. I don't think the guy knew what he was talking about. It was on one of these BetMGM channels, just trying to get you to bet Philly because everybody's probably betting Washington. I see Washington winning the game. Jalen Hurts hurt knee. Even if he's 100%, he's not good. You're not stopping. They played. What was the score? Let's look at the score when Philly gave up the ball 5 times and still won. Washington wins at Philly 36-33 with 5 turnovers, right? And they still win. They put up 36 on that defense. Well, the defense has gotten weaker. They've lost a few guys. Their linebacker from Georgia, Nakobe Dean, who was great, and he's out. Let's look at Washington. So they go ahead and they somehow lose to Dallas with Cooper Rush. Even in the first game against Philly, at Philly, they lost 26-18. They only lost by 8 points there. Then they go ahead and starting in December, they beat Tennessee 42-19. Okay. New Orleans 20-19. Okay. Then they beat Philly 36-33. Atlanta to clinch 30-24. Dallas with the backup quarterback 23-19. And then Tampa 23-20. And Detroit 45-31. So, no, their defense is not by any stretch a very strong defense. We know that. But their offense, 36 on Philly and 45 on Detroit and 23 on Tampa, these pretty good defensive teams. So that's how I view Washington. They will score on Philly. They can beat Philly, and winning in Detroit is not easy. Yeah, now after you lose it, you can blame the, it was the injuries or, golf choked. I mean, it was a lot of what golf did, but they didn't. I think they punted 1 time in the game. So Washington is extremely live dog. I think I'm not going to say Washington should have been favored, but with Hurts's knee, I think it should be a 3-point spread at most. I don't see 6.5. We tease it to 12.5. That's a joke. That's not losing. I really don't think Washington is going to lose. I think the pass rush on Daniel is what we saw with the Lions, blitzed him all day, and he just laughed at it. He just kind of went out the door the other way going, yeah, this is great. So there's no way Philly blows out Washington. If anything, Washington does what they did to Detroit, 45-31. I can see Hurts throwing a few picks because he's not very good. He's not mobile. Look for Washington to just blitz the shit out of him. And if they hand the ball to Barkley, they tackle him. The best way to beat a running back like Barkley is to blitz him and get him before he gets started. Don't let him get out the door like he did at the end of the game last week, where he kind of hid behind the line and then he snuck out the left side and went 70 yards for a touchdown. Just don't. If you're in the holes, he's got nowhere to go. So, again, if it's like Baltimore, as soon as Buffalo got up 21-10, they took Henry out of the game. And that's what they'll do here. If they can get a lead, they'll take Barkley out of the game. And God forbid Hurts to win it for him. Forget about it. That ain't happening. So here you have a quarterback, Hurts, who's not very good. And, okay, good defense, but they've already lit it up for 36 points. Not a problem for them. Even though they have a lot of Georgia players, not like the Georgia team that gave up 7 points a game that one year, a couple years ago. So I don't see how they're going to stop Washington. Hurts, couple turnovers. Barkley, he's a good runner, but late in the game when they're tired, not early. And I just don't see him stopping Daniels. I mean, what he did to Detroit, he just sliced him up. Did Darnell do that? I mean, is there that much of a difference that Darnell, they won, 14 games, Minnesota. Had to do something right. We know he's a choke, but my God, he looked horrible in the game. So that's my point with Darnell. They made him look pretty bad, and Daniels just lit him up, and Josh Allen lit him up. So if we look at Philadelphia, all right, they killed Dallas 41-7. They beat the Giants 20-13. Green Bay they beat 22-10, and then the Rams 28-22. So, you know, Stafford is really good. Obviously, Love, I question. But I think Daniels just brings a new element where he can kind of get away, kind of gets open, and he's extremely accurate. I've never seen – it'll be 3rd and 12, and he's dancing around, and he fires the ball, and you go, well, will it be caught? The guy's wide open, and it hits him in the chest. I mean, this is unbelievable. Obviously, the offensive coordinator from Texas Tech is bringing in a Texas Tech offense, and these guys get open, and I think that's one thing that's understated. I can't remember his name. It was the Arizona coach, and, he had Kyler Murray, but he didn't do much. But now he's just the offensive coordinator, and I think that's where he should be. And they're lighting it up. If I was Washington, I'd sign him to a 5-year deal. And with him and Daniels, they can compete with Kansas City. They just got to draft some defensive talent. The two edge rushers from Ole Miss and the 2 from Tennessee, man, that would be my first 4 picks. My first pick, I'm grabbing one of those, especially Washington. They don't need the quarterback. And then grab a runner back in the 2nd round and some receivers late in the draft. That's it. Yeah, they lost their guard, which will hurt. The All-Pro who got his legs whipped around. And I always wonder if they're doing that by accident or not. He just happened to fall into the guy's legs. Probably did that on purpose. Anyway, so Philly, the last 3 games, it's 20, 22, and 28. A 41 on Dallas, and then they lost to Washington 36-30. Pitt, they got 27 on. Baltimore, they got 24 on. So they don't really score a lot. Well, when I got Daniels, and I'm getting 12.5 points, they're going to get what? Let's say 24, 26. I got 12.5. I need 14 points to win. I'll have that in the first quarter. You're not stopping Washington from 30 points here. Like I said, 36-33. So I think this is going to be come down to the fourth quarter, but I think it'll be high scoring and close because they've already put up 36 on the Philly defense. All right, let's check for injuries if there's anything new here. Washington, nobody, they got a lot of, one guy out, McGee, the linebacker, he's been out. The rest of the guys are Lattimore, injured hamstring, he's playing. Zach Ertz, injured ribs, he's playing. Crowder, injured hamstring, he's playing. All these guys are playing, shoulders, back, a finger. So nobody's really that hurt. And as long as you don't see Daniels on the list, you're fine. Philadelphia, B. Young, defensive tackle, is out with the hamstring. Now, what's surprising here is A.J. Brown with a knee, but he'll be playing. Barkley injured with rest. What the fuck is that? And then where is Hurts? He's not even on the injured list with his knee. It was in a brace. I'm sure he's not 100%. He's not that good anyway. So they'll make him beat him, but at the end of the day, they'll run Barkley. And at the end of the day, I think Washington, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they won. As I said, if they can win in Detroit, they'll have no problem winning against Philly, who they've already played twice this year. So it's not a big deal. They've seen the defense. They know how to attack it. And you got Daniel. You got the best player on the field is Daniels. Should have won the Rookie of the Year. I'm sure he will. He's probably the MVP besides really Joe Burrow should be the MVP. What he did was amazing. And then you have a little bit of between Daniels and, and probably Mahomes. And then you have Josh, Josh Allen. He's not the MVP. He's kind of a weird quarterback. Likes to run a lot, but I don't even know what the MVP is anymore. Oh, you got to be on the first place team to be the MVP? Really? So stupid. So my score: Washington 34, Philly 30. I think Washington wins. I think they went to Detroit and won, and I don't see. You went to Tampa and won. You've already won at Philly, and you beat Atlanta. They have won 7 in a row. They are not going to lose this game. Philly just doesn't. They have the great defense, but Washington's already figured it out. If it was somebody else, like you saw Green Bay, they didn't go up against it. The Rams figured it out late, and Stafford got you some late touchdowns. But here, Washington's seen it, been there, done that. So look for Washington in the Super Bowl, and then KC Buffalo, 1.5, 48. Let's take a look at injuries. We got Buffalo, and everybody's injured knee, injured back, injured biceps. They are all playing. They're all injured. It's football. But nobody's out, right? That's all I care. Doubtful or out. Kansas City, Hardman's out. He'll miss. Mahomes' ankle, yeah, it looked fine last week. Chris Jones, he was rubbing his calf. I saw him have to come out of the game a lot for the calf. So it must be a serious calf injury. Russell Wilson had the calf injury early this year, and he missed like 5 or 6 games. So I don't think Jones is right, which is a big key for Buffalo. Pacheco, injured rib. Hunt's been playing more. And that's about it. Nobody's really serious there. We've seen the weather. We'll look at the stats. Buffalo beat them at home, 30-21. They lost to the Rams, 44-42, and they lost somehow to New England, which I didn't like. They sat out their guys, and then they did beat Denver, but I would never have not played my guys against New England. That was extremely stupid. And then they hammered Detroit 48-42. So Buffalo's a very live dog here. KC just keeps winning. They win. They lost to Denver 38-0 when it didn't mean anything, and they lost to the Buffalo when it did mean something. They beat Houston, they beat Pitt, they beat Houston again. San Diego 19-17, Denver 16-14 when it mattered. Oakland 19-17. Let's look at head-to-head since they play each other so much. So Buffalo won 30-21 in Buffalo, but regular season. In the playoffs, KC won 27-24 at Buffalo last year as the dog. KC, again, a regular season game, Buffalo wins 2017. In October, why did they play twice? They won 24-20. Oh, one was 2023, one was 2022. In the playoffs, January 2022, KC wins in that overtime game 42-36. In the playoffs in Kansas City in 2021, KC wins 38-24. That's it for the playoffs. So if we go back to 2021, Buffalo does win it at KC 38-20 in October. They win 24-20 in October. The 2023, they win 2017 in December. But in the playoffs, they don't get it done. Josh Allen chokes, actually. So playoff game, Kansas City 27-24 last year. 2022 in the wild one, KC 42-36 in overtime. On the 13-second play, how McDermott's still there, coaching's beyond me. January 21st in 2021, they win 38-24. So KC in the money games, Mahomes wins, which is why you bet Mahomes and you don't bet Allen. I think Buffalo's a live dog. I don't know if Allen can win. I think he's too big of a. I think he's a choker. Burrow got it done, right? Burrow won the game. That's why we love Joe Burrow, and we love betting him as a dog. Allen, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at Allen. He does a lot of stuff, but he can't beat KC. He really can't handle the blitz. In Kansas City, Spagnuolo runs a lot of blitzes, and they'll stop him from running as best they can, as much as you can. He's going to get you on that 2-yard run, which I don't know. It's don't they have a running back? They got Cook. Use the tight end. I don't know. Why do I want my strong quarterback running the ball in the NFL where he can get hammered? So from a bet standpoint, they're both A teams. KC with the better defense. KC with Mahomes and Kelsey. KC, I've got winning this game 27-24. It will be high scoring. Definitely. It will be close. Definitely. Even if Buffalo does what they did to Baltimore last week, 21-10, Mahomes will be back and he'll win the game. Just like the Super Bowl, right? San Francisco had the 10-point lead. And again, Shanahan choked. That's the third or fourth time he had a big lead. He had the big lead with Atlanta, and he choked that one. And with San Francisco, he had KC by 10 and choked that one. Really, Mahomes will win the game. It's as simple as that. The spread's 1.5. You can go either way or play both ways. I wouldn't play both ways in the same teaser. You can take KC in 4.5. That's going to be a winner. You can take Buffalo in 7.5. That's going to be a winner. This game will not be a blowout. This game will be close. I think what happens with teams like Kansas City is they just methodically wear you out. They very rarely punt. They very rarely go 3 and out. Mahomes finds a way to hit Kelsey on 3rd and 8 to break your back. And it keeps the drive going. They'll go on a 7-8 minute drive, giving the ball to Pacheco and Hunt, hitting Kelsey. Mahomes knows how to get the first downs, and they grind you out. And they take control of the game. That's what they do very well. And once they have control of the game, Buffalo then has to play a perfect game. Look at them against Baltimore last year. They killed Lamar. Right? It was like 27-10 or whatever. They got him. They jumped on him. They had a 17-7 lead. I think they won 20-10 or something like that. They just break your back. They just get first down. That's what Mahomes does so well. He wins the games. It's sort of like the old Steelers that we love in the 70s. They'd give the ball to Franco Harris and just eat up the clock and drive down the field. And once in a while, he'd hit Swan and Stallworth. And you really couldn't stop them because you couldn't take both away. But they just methodically first downed you to death, and then they'd score. And then you're down 14-3. Then you get to face the Steeler defense, and you're done. And that's what KC does. They just slowly, methodically control the game to keep Josh Allen on the bench. And at the end of the day, Josh Allen will have his plays, but they'll be behind. So look for KC to come out 3-0, 7-0, 10-0. Buffalo will trigger it. If Buffalo comes out and scores, not a sweat. KC, Mahomes will answer. And that's why Mahomes is Mahomes. Nobody else can do that. Daniels is getting close where he was down big to Philly in that one game, 36-33, and then he came from behind to win, and he did it to the Bears on the Hail Mary. He controls the game like he did last week with the Lions. That's how these teams win, is they kind of just control the game. I guess it's sort of like Olympic wrestling that you get the riding time and they They dominate you, and then you're playing defensive, and that's what's happening here. So KC will dominate Buffalo. Allen will score. It'll be close because Allen will, he'll figure it out. He'll score some touchdowns, but you just can't stop Mahomes. He's going to grind you down. Give the ball because he can read this is I'm going to run Hunt over here. Oh, Kelsey will be open in the middle. Once in a while, he hits his receivers, and I don't even know who he's got left because Rice is out and Hardman's out, but he'll hit the other guys, and I'll run for 5 yards. He just has the knack, and Daniels has it too. Against the Lions, third down, he'd find the guy open. He'd run for 5. They blitzed him, and he just ran out the other way. He reads it. That's my big point about Lamar and about Hurts and these guys. They can't read the defense, so they don't know what's coming until it comes, and then they try to react to it. Well, Mahomes and Daniels, I don't know about Josh Allen. He never was, but maybe he's getting better at it. They can see what's happening. Brady was best at it. He'd see the blitz, and he'd tell the Wes Welker to cut across the middle, and boom, boom. As soon as he got it, 2 seconds later, he threw the ball. He knew where he was going. And not a lot of the quarterbacks can do that. Obviously, golf can't do it, but that's what you have. You have certain quarterbacks that can read it, and Daniels is one of them, and Mahomes is the other. And Allen, but so I got 27-24 KC. Their defense will be tough. Buffalo's defense, you can't really stop Mahomes. Philly couldn't stop them. Last year, the Niners couldn't stop them. So I see that happening. KC gets out maybe 10-3, and then it's just maybe Buffalo ties it. Then KC goes back on the lead, and Buffalo so Buffalo's always catching up. And at the end of the day, Mahomes runs the clock out with the 5-minute, getting first downs, which he does so well, and the whole thing. So that's how I see it. So that's what I got. I got Washington, Kansas City, and I think Washington will be a live dog in the Super Bowl. Depending on the spread, depending how we'll bet them, I think it's going to be an over, and Washington will be a live dog if we get more than 10. Because Daniels is not bothered. Like I said, he played at LSU. Their big game was Alabama, which is far bigger than any of these games. Believe me, in college. It's funny, though. He did suck at Arizona State when LSU got him, and they were going to make him the starter. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And then his first year at LSU, he was okay. And then his second year, he was dynamite. And sort of like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, Ohio State's got to be the dumbest team in the world. They had Joe Burrow, and they didn't play him. Then he got injured. Then he goes to Nebraska, and Scott Frost says, I'll make you a cornerback. And he laughed at him, and he said, no, I'm a quarterback. I'm not going to play cornerback. I'm going to play defense. And Scott Frost, of course, lost his job. He goes to LSU, and he's the best quarterback in the country. What does Scott Frost know? Absolutely nothing. The guy should have – he got fired. He should have resigned at that point. So that's the point. You get in the right situation is different. So anyway, Joe Burrow is the only one capable of beating Mahomes in a playoff game, and he's done it. He's the only one that it's a no question. If Cincinnati's the dog, I lock it. Even if they're playing Kansas City or Buffalo, they beat them all. So keep that in mind. You're betting the quarterback. So Daniels is much better than Hurts. And then Mahomes and Allen, you give the edge to Mahomes just because he just grinds you down. He knows what he's doing. So talking about the Lions offensive coordinator is now the coach of the Bears. What the fuck? What is that? Is he a good coach? I have no idea. Is he a good offensive coordinator? Apparently. Or does he just had the Michael Jordan where me and you could coach Michael Jordan? Michael, go out there and just do whatever you do. and you'll score touchdown. You'll score 35 points. I'll get out of your way, and we'll win. Oh, aren't I a great coach? So I don't know. He's walking into Caleb. Now, I think maybe he realized golf was a joke and said, I got to get out of here because we're not winning anything with golf. I don't know. I don't know his roots. Is he from Chicago? He won't win with Caleb. We'll see who his offensive coordinator is, or he'll just be he should just be the offensive coordinator if he's smart. But the other guy, Aaron Glenn's the head coach of the Jets. They're going to suck next year. He's a terrible coach. He was a lousy defensive coach. Should have been fired at the end of last year. They gave up 30-some points a game the last 7-8 games. And then this year they gave up 30. And you can blame the injuries, but I don't because they're all pros. The talent level you have should be good. Now, I do blame the GM for spending a lot of money on your offensive tackle, your right tackle. And St. Thomas, the receiver, you can't spend a lot of money on him. That's why KC let Tyreek Hill go because they couldn't afford $30 million. He goes to Miami, and they're not good because Tyreek Hill makes $30 million. And then you have so the receiver and your 2 offensive linemen and then your quarterback. Well, you only have so much money, and if you give it all to 4 or 5 players, guess what? You don't have a defense because as soon as they get injured, you're fucked. And that's what happens. The defense is not good because you're getting inferior talent. It's not next man up because they're not all equal, as we know. Believe me, if Mahomes gets hurt and you got to go to Carson Wentz, you're in big trouble. They're not even. So that's the first thing. They're not even teams. They're not even players. So I don't know what Ben Johnson is. He's never been a head coach before. He's only been an assistant for a couple years. I doubt he learned anything from Campbell except for let's go for it on 4th down. Campbell is aggressive. We understand that, but that's fine. It's not smart. They should have went to the Super Bowl last year. Campbell cost them that. Now we'll see how good. We don't know how good Campbell is. He hasn't done any. He can't clock manage. He goes for the 4th down when he shouldn't. When he should play field position. The general manager has not brought in defense. These guys from Alabama are not good. Arnold and the other guy, Benny Barnes, they're not good players. He won't get guys from Georgia and LSU because he doesn't like them. I don't know. They're the better players. So he's found a good running back and wide receiver. Wow, really hard to do with 1st-round draft picks. It's the later rounds that he fails in, and then he fails in his defense. He fails in realizing when he moved up to draft the running back was a huge mistake. He needed to draft a good defensive lineman or linebacker, edge rusher, to go with the other guy. So he didn't do that. So people are saying, "Oh wow, look what he did. He got the running back and the receiver from Alabama. Oh, really hard." So he's getting credit for drafting guys in the 1st round who you shouldn't have been drafting the running back. And then certainly this Jameson Williams is terrible. He's very stupid. He makes a lot of dumb plays. The interception there, why was he even throwing the ball? So it's almost like Ben Johnson said, fuck you to the Lions and threw the game and called some really stupid plays that didn't work. But he ran a double reverse for a touchdown. Then he ran a double reverse pass for an interception. Golf just made a lot of stupid plays, but that's golf being golf. He's just a choker. So once they realize how bad golf is, I heard him say today, well, he's an MVP candidate. Yeah, just like Lamar. And how does Lamar do in the playoffs? Oh, yeah, he doesn't show up either. What are you trying to do? Win or have a good quarterback against weak teams in this weak NFL who basically, puts up big. And it's like in the SEC or the Big Ten when they play the weak teams, they pad their stats. Then they get in against Alabama, Ohio State, and they don't show up. So that's what you got going, and it's very, very tough to think he's going to be a good coach. Aaron Glenn will not be a good coach. I think that's a terrible hire. I'll give him 2 years. He'll be gone. They'll do nothing there. I think he played for the Jets. So is that why you're hiring a guy? Because he played for the Jets? I don't know. Anyway, I see that as a bad hire. I thought he was a bad defensive coordinator. I find the GM does not draft for the defense, doesn't pick up free agents for the defense. Only at the end when they had all these injuries is now he's trying to find players, and you see how they did. Gave up 48 to Buffalo and 42 to Washington. That's how the GM picked up his players. That shows you his skill. No, he didn't do a good job. But he shouldn't have been in that position. He should have drafted better. They need to change the grass to grass in the field in Ford Field. It cannot be artificial turf. That's another reason you're getting a lot of these injuries. Some of them you can't really prevent. Like Hutchinson got leg whip, I guess. I didn't see the play. I was in Italy. But some of them, they just get rolled over, which I question if they're doing it on purpose or not. I think, how are they going to make this guy roll, spin into the guy? Come on. So I find that to be really shaky, but they need a new trainer to strengthen the guys, make them more flexible. I don't know. But I just find that way too many injuries. There's a coaching problem there. And again, if they had natural grass, they wouldn't have had half the injuries. So that's my take. Dan Campbell, if he thinks he's just going to replace the offensive and defensive coordinators, out of his mind. Not that Glenn was any good. And he already replaced the coordinators who he first brought on. They were terrible. So Glenn, nothing. And the offensive coordinator ran a lot of cute little plays, but he had a very good line, 2 good running backs and a good receiver, a weak quarterback and a good tight end. So it's a balanced offense. So give them a credit for having running backs and receivers so they can balance the offense. So with that said, they do have that going for them, that you should be able to bring in another offensive coordinator, which then makes the case, was Ben Johnson any good? Because he made a case, anybody could be the offensive coordinator here. That's the Michael Jordan thing. Anybody could coach the Bulls with Michael Jordan. So in that case, was Ben Johnson really that good? Or, anybody could have coached him, because you just say if there's so many guys on the line, you run, and if there's so many guys on the line, you pass. And basically, he's just using his offensive line to open holes, and the running backs are running through it. And you're like going, oh, okay. And that's basically what you're looking at. So I don't think Ben Johnson's going to succeed. Not with Caleb. Caleb's not very good. He had a better offensive coach in Lincoln Riley at USC, and he did nothing there. Right? Notre Dame, UCLA, Oregon, they all got killed. And so Caleb, to me, isn't very good anyway. So Ben Johnson is not going to be better than Lincoln Riley, and they couldn't do anything there. Look at Lincoln Riley, USC. He's doing shit. He does nothing. They are not winning. I don't think they went 500. Did they go to? I don't even know if they went to a bowl game this year. I thought his choice of Miller Moss was weak when he had Maivia from Vegas, who should have been the starter. But that's my point. So you don't know. I know Aaron Glenn will stink. Give him 2 years. He'll be fired. The rest of it, they don't have any clue what they're doing. They're just, and if somebody takes Ron Rivera, then they're out of their minds. What has he ever won? Well, I think he had Cam Newton, didn't he? Wasn't he the coach then? Oakland's in big trouble. Maybe Tom Brady will go back and play. And that's it. So a lot of the coaches coming up. The draft looks very weak. I don't buy Prime Jr. as the second quarterback, and I'm not buying Cam Ward as the first pick in the draft. That's a huge mistake, and I don't know who's going to make it. Who's the number one pick? Oakland, the Giants, somebody like that. Anyway, that's kind of what I see is that. So again, they're just going through the motions with these hiring these coaches that have no idea, and then they're hiring, and then drafting the quarterbacks. They are clueless. That's how bad Chicago is. They could have had Daniels. They took Caleb. I mean, it was a no-brainer. Caleb was never going to be good, and I told you over and over, Penix and Daniels and Bo Nix are going to be good. Those were the three good ones. Drake May's nothing. J.J. McCarthy will be nothing at Minnesota. I mean, you got to be kidding there. They made Darnold look good. He's nothing. Where's he going to go? The Giants? So we'll see what's going on there. Here I'm laughing. Everybody was buying all these Detroit jerseys and hats and all this sports stuff. I didn't pay attention to it. And basically, you've got to be kidding and then now everybody's crying that they lost. I'm like, well, what did you expect? This is the Lions. This is what they've been doing for 70 years. Since 1957, they have Barry Sanders. They can't win. They had Kelvin Johnson. They can't win. They're not a winning team. They're not. If you think they're going to win a Super Bowl, you're out of your mind. They had the opportunity this year. They had the 1 seed and that. And notice how all the coaches can't wait to leave. That's a bad sign. When your coach, there's something wrong when your coaches are just leaving, and they're happy about it. They're all good. I got out of here. So something's wrong with the Lions that the coaches are jumping ship, right? And don't tell me the guy went to coach the Bears. Are you kidding? And that's a good move. Are you kidding me? Anyway, so that's what's happening. That's football. Yesterday I freaked out. There was I had no views, or I had 3 views, but I didn't have anybody. So at least tonight I had some people on. You start questioning, going, well, should I keep doing this or what's going on? But then I do notice after I get about 25 views, and I think I do it every day. So you don't have to watch every day to really get the gist. Like I gave you these scores yesterday, and I'll give them to you tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday, yes. I don't know if I need every day during the week, but I'm trying to keep you up to date with what's going on, like with Trump and with bricks and gold and silver, because we're so into it. Let's have a discussion. I keep getting the Bitcoin thrown at me, and let's just use common sense and rationality. If I thought Bitcoin was where we should put our money, I would tell you. I tell you to put it in gold, mantle, and Rolexes, right? I tell you that. That's where I put my money. I got paid today. Tomorrow I'm working from home. Tomorrow I will go to the bank around 11:30, and I will take my money out of the account because I don't want to leave it in the bank, and I will probably go buy some silver with it because I bought an ounce and a tenth last week. So I kind of want to put a little bit into the savings. This has been a bad month for me. I got a 1-day check, a 2-day check for Christmas and New Year's. Then I got 2 normal ones. Today was normal. And then next week I lose for Martin Luther King Day. So I get a 4-day check. So of 5 checks, I get about I get about 4 checks, maybe 3.5 checks. I get 7 days instead of 15, so I lose basically 8 days of pay. But that's okay. Then everything's normal in February. I think I'll get one more week, one more month of Social Security because I'm waiting to hear what Trump's going to do with it. If I can get it or not. He's supposedly not going to tax it or whatever. We'll see. So I'll give him, one more month and then I'll shut it off if I have to, or I'll keep getting it if I can get it. I hope I can keep getting it. I can buy more gold with it. So Bitcoin, I think people are reacting to the price without understanding it and not realizing what it is. And I think they're reacting to gold and silver, not understanding and looking at the price. I think they're looking at Bitcoin. It's 100,000. I'm going to jump in on it. I mean, it went out to 106 the other day, and today it was down to 102. What's it worth? 106, 102. Gold sits there at 27. Now it's 27.60, which should be a lot higher, provided that JP Morgan gets out of COMEX, then you'll see that going much higher. But I think people are scared. There's massive inflation. We're in a recession, almost a depression, although nobody will say it. They keep laying people off. Prices going up, that's your inflation. So I can see where people are scared of the inflation, as I am. But it's not, we're not in Kansas anymore, as I showed you Wizard of Oz. And basically, everybody's following the yellow brick road to disaster, and they don't know what to do with it. So they see Bitcoin at 100,000, and they go, "Oh, I could have had 100,000. I should have been in it." But they're not seeing at the end when it collapses, when the wicked witch dies. They're not seeing the end of it, and that's what I try to point out. Bitcoin is at 100,000. So invest in it. And then when are you going to sell it? You're not. It's just going to keep going up. Oh, that's crazy. It's not going to keep going. How can it keep going up? So nothing just keeps going up. Apple shares took a smash. Tesla should be taking a smash. So a lot of these stocks are way overvalued, but people are scared. And they know they got to get out of the dollar, so they're going into stocks because they see gold and silver and they go, they don't move. I want to make a lot of money so I can protect my family, even though the money is in monopoly money. I told some guy today where I'm getting my coffee, and he's looking at the board, and I go, it's all fantasy. Nothing is real. He made a comment to me, and I go something like, well, but the dollar it's all toilet paper. It's not real. And he says, well, what is money? I says, gold and silver, basically. Money is the medium of exchange. That's what I try to teach you. It's something for us to buy and sell goods and services. So when I sell Teaserking, how am I going to get paid? You can give me an ounce of silver, or you give me US dollars on PayPal or on Venmo, and that's perfectly fine. That's what you do. That's the point of it. You need to exchange money. That's why it's the medium of exchange. So you're exchanging your skill set to an employer or a service to customers. If you own a store, people are buying. If you're working for a company, you're provided a skill and they pay you for it. So you need to get paid. You could get paid in oranges or apples or cans of tuna or whatever, but money's the best because then that allows you to buy everything, right? I can go buy food, clothes, or pay my rent or whatever. So really, people without realizing it are going, oh, look at Bitcoin's 100,000. I want to get in on it. Look at gold. It's 27. It goes up $10. And it doesn't really move. I don't want to get in on it. And I think that's the psychology here. People see the Bitcoin going up. They don't understand that it's not real. All they see is the price, and they go, I can make money. I want to make $1 million. And that's the trap. That's what Madoff did. Oh, I can get 15%. It's beautiful. How do you do it, Bernie? Well, if you got to ask, forget about it. That's what he said. If you got to ask, I'm not going to tell you. Maybe you shouldn't be here. Oh, no, no, no. I want the 15%. He wouldn't tell him how he did it because he didn't do anything. And Bitcoin's very similar. You don't know how the price is going up, but it's big guys putting money in, making the price go up. Then they immediately push it up to 106. Then they sell it and it goes down to 102. That's how it goes up and down. That's the only way. So what you really have is you're not really sure what it is, but you know it's at 100,000. So you want to get a piece of it. And I understand that, of course. But you've got to really understand what it is. And it's not real. It's computer stuff. And that's really the problem. So Trump comes into office and he sees the $36 trillion debt. He's a businessman. He understands debt, bankruptcies. And so he says, well, we're going to have Bitcoin. He did it to get elected. He's not really going to do it. He just said it to get elected. That's what a politician does. You got to understand politicians. FDR, as I read that yesterday, he basically, FDR promised low taxes, little government, gold standard, free trade, and then he comes into office and he doesn't do any of it. And he basically kills the country with his socialistic government spending, getting rid of gold, raising taxes, Social Security, which was another burden that took money out of the private sector into the government. The more money in the private sector, the better the economy. That's what Trump understands, and that's why he's saying, let's get rid of income tax and we'll do tariffs, because he understands if we keep the money in the private sector, we'll spend it better than the government will. And then when he realizes, well, this way we can get our taxes on the tariffs, people buying our goods. But I don't think we sell anything that they're buying. It's just mostly our banks. And so, but he understands if we keep our money, we spend it better than the government. So he gets that. I think they're trying to end the war. I think he's going to Moscow soon to talk with Putin. I think he realizes we're giving the Ukraine all this money. We don't have it to give. I mean, there's a point you don't have any, you get your money and you pay your bills. You got no more money. You can't give it to your girlfriend. I don't have another 100 to give you. So I think that's a big part of it also, with what's going on there. So Trump is he'll never cut the government. They won't allow it. But I don't know if he's going to do something with gold. I think he knows he has to. And it won't be Bitcoin because I think he knows it's not real. Yes, it's going up in value, but it's not the government's money. And he's the government. So he needs government money, and it can't be Bitcoin. So he won't go to Bitcoin. Gold he cannot confiscate, but he could buy it and then raise the price of it because JP Morgan controls the price. Now, some say he controls it for China. I don't think so. I think they're controlling silver, especially because they owe all the money. All the bullion banks, there's 8 of them, have all shorted it and have dropped the price, but their derivatives are way underwater, and they're all going to go broke from the derivatives. And I think that's what happened with Lehman Brothers with the derivatives on silver, and silver didn't go down. And anyway, that's what happened with them. You can't say that gold and silver are going to go down and then they go up. You're fucked because you bet they're going to go down. So I think what happened was initially COMEX, they could control the price. Nobody was buying the gold and silver. However, now all the BRICS countries are buying gold and silver. And buying and buying and buying, and China and India and Russia and Saudi Arabia have money to buy. And they know this is the way to survive, is get out of fiat currency and into gold and silver. So this is why it's all backfiring. Before it was just a Ponzi scheme where they would just trade between each other. That's why gold and silver really didn't move, or really didn't move much. But now with all the BRICS countries, and especially China and Russia buying, thousands of tons. Russia's got 20,000. China's got 60 or 70. Their citizens are buying. Once you see that, then you probably need to stop shorting it, because the demand's there, and they're not going to stop until they drain COMEX, because they think that'll ruin the U.S., because then they'll come out with a much higher gold price, which they win if the price goes up, and then you have a U.S. without any gold. And just like the Bitcoin guys, I'm not in Bitcoin. Does it bother me? I'm not in Bitcoin. Not at all. I'm not in, I don't own a Mickey Mantle rookie card, or I don't own the Jordan rookie card. You can't own everything. So you've got to make decisions on what you own, and you got to look at it objectively and in a long-term nature. How safe and secure, what's the best investment to be in? And I give them to you. A Mantle card, nothing's going to happen to that. It's just going to go up. The Rolexes, I go through a bunch of them on eBay, over 100,000. Nothing's going to happen to them because they're very limited. And then I go to gold and silver. Nothing's going to happen to them because they're very limited. And as I told the guy as he was leaving the kitchen, that's our break room, and I just said, I have gold and silver because they can't inflate it or print it. I'm always very careful that I'm saying inflation is printing. Bobby Bo, how are you? Lamar is out again. Poor Lamar. I almost believe he's the MVP of the league. If only Mahomes and Joe Burrow and Daniels weren't in the league, he might be. Josh Allen. Allen versus Mahomes this Sunday. I gave you the score, 27-24 Mahomes. Mahomes controls the game like Alabama used to with Bear Bryant. They'd run it down your throat, and they just dominate time of possession, keep the ball away from you. They'd get their scores, and they play killer defense. That's how Alabama won theirs. And USC with John McKay, they would run and pass. And that's what Mahomes does. He just takes the ball down the field, and off you go. And they control the clock, and they get their first downs, and then they score, and then you're playing from behind, and then they can blitz. And the only way to beat them, and I don't even know if that's the case, San Francisco had them by 10 in the Super Bowl. They still came back. So all Mahomes does is he doesn't screw around getting first downs. He throws a 30-yard pass, boom, 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 and he goes down there. There's no way KC's going to lose. Daniels needs to send Hurts home. He will. I got Washington winning that game. I don't believe in Philly and rather see Daniels and Mahomes in the Super Bowl. And you just need Joe Burrow there, and it'd be an all LSU Super Bowl. How about that? After what Daniels did to the Lions, there's no issue. He'll do it here. And after what Mahomes and Hurts, he's got a hurt knee. I mean, he's injured, and good luck with Daniels. They just beat Philly 36-33 a month ago, right? They beat Philly. They beat Atlanta to get in the playoffs. They beat Tampa. Now they went to Detroit and put up 40, which is not easy to do. Ask Sam Darnold. And so there you have it. It's funny when Detroit loses, then it's the defense's fault. But against Minnesota, the same defense, not a problem. They won. Funny how that happens. But I don't think the offensive coordinator went to the Bears. The coach is going to do anything. I don't see all of a sudden Caleb being a good quarterback. He couldn't do it with whatchamacallit at USC. What's his name? They couldn't win with the best offensive coordinator. What's he going to do with this Johnson, who you don't even know how good he is, because the Lions had all the pieces. They had the balanced offense, running and passing, and an adequate quarterback and a good offensive line. So me and you could have called the plays. Well, I know I could call them better than that guy, but yeah. Burrow made it in 2022, and now Daniels can make it in 2025. Well, LSU, like I was saying, I don't understand the Lions defense not taking any Georgia or LSU players. He keeps taking Alabama players, because it's a safe draft pick. They're okay, but they're not good. And they showed you that with their defense that gives up 30 points a game, and he's got 3 Alabama guys on it. He's got too many Alabama guys on the roster. He doesn't take – so is he a real good GM? Well, let's see. I'll just take some Alabama guys. Aren't I a good GM? Caleb is not NFL caliber, and these GMs are idiots. I bet they don't even own medals. Probably not. So I was talking about the Bitcoin and everything, and it's the illusion that because people keep screaming at me about Bitcoin, and I'm like, look, I don't know anything. I'm trying to do what I tell you, Bobby and Luke and everybody is what I do. I got the masters. This is what I'm doing, and I explain why. And I'm not in Bitcoin. Not because of anything personal about it. If I thought it was good, I would have bought it. I could have bought it at like 2,000 or 3,000 an ounce or whatever it is. I was playing poker, and some of the guys are saying, "What do you think about Bitcoin?" I says, "I don't know anything about it. What is it? What's it backed by? Nothing." I says, "Then it's worthless because it was not backed by gold. Anything is worthless, right?" And so I didn't buy it then because it's not backed by anything. Why it's gone up, but it's the only crypto that's gone up. It's really strange. Why aren't the others 100,000? Why is only Bitcoin 100,000? I mean, you got to ask those questions. I've been playing some Stoic ones for you, Bobby, and there's one I got to show you about IQ that you'll sit there and go, yeah, not only is it me, it's you. And it's basically just, it's one of these 1 minute shorties. Let me play it, but hopefully Luke is not still nervous. I haven't seen, well, yesterday I got really nervous. I didn't have anybody. I did the whole class. I had zeros up there. You weren't there. Luke wasn't there. Nobody's asking me questions. No likes. And I end after like an hour and a half, and I got 3 viewers. And I start getting like, where the fuck is everybody? And, I'm like, well, should I keep doing it if I don't have any viewers? But then I see people watch it later. And I end up with like 20 views. As long as I get 20, 25, sometimes I get 50. I think people haven't come back because I used to give the scores and the picks and they got it for free. And now they're not getting it, so they don't want it. But I don't want to, I'm going to sell the picks, not give them out. Oh, yeah, I need to find more Stoic videos. I'll show you a couple. Yesterday I was on at 8 o'clock. And again, I apologize because Monday I was on 10 in the morning because it was Martin Luther King Day and I was off. And then, let's say Thursday. So yesterday, Tuesday, I think I came on at 9:30. Yesterday I came on at like 8. Today I came on about 7:45. It's a long day for me. I'm working, and then I go to the pool. So it's a real tough day to get, because I'm an INFJ, I got to get the energy up. We need our downtime to regenerate. And that's kind of what at the end of the day, I need that. You don't ever get notifications. I don't know why. You should. If you, I guess, subscribe and ring the bell, you should see it. But yeah, I'm still on just about every day. During the week, I might miss one day, but for sure on the weekends. But yeah, I'm working I work till 4:15, but then I drive to the pool and I'm there from like 4:45 to 4:45. I stopped at the grocery store today. So I'm really, by the time I get home, it's 6:30-ish and I'm sitting down and eating. So I'm not going to be on. So I try to get on by 7:30, but that's generally during the week. Weekends, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, somewhere like that. But try to get notifications. I don't know why you wouldn't. Did you hit the bell? There's, I guess, a bell you hit that will give you notifications after you subscribed or on that page. You shouldn't stop this class, Professor. It's a great class. It's great information. Well, thank you, Bobby. Like I say, normally I always get 20, 30 people a class live, and then I get people watching it. I don't know if it's too long. Is it too long that I go 2 hours because I know when I'm looking on YouTube myself for our stuff, um, I don't mind Mark McGuire goes an hour. Okay, that I know Mark McGuire, I'll go an hour. Or Egon. Egon's got one on tonight that he just put out. But again, I'm carving it up between football and then I go to gold and economics and Trump and bricks and all that stuff. So there's like a first half. I was trying to do two different videos, but now it's too exhausting to like set it up, do the football, end it, then come back in, and then and then do econ. So I'm trying to do it, but maybe I should do a little bit, maybe keep it to an hour. But I'm already at an hour 10, and then you and Luke come on and we start chatting, and so that makes it go another half hour of us chatting. Unlike all the junk out there, the professor's authentic. We respect that. Well, I'm actually teaching you. I'm actually doing a class. This is how I would teach in a school. And I give you examples and I explain everything. I explain inflation and I explain bricks and I explain gold and silver, why, how it's price fixed. I always get frustrated. Here's my comeback to alligator. Alligator keeps saying it's not gold going up, it's the dollar going down. And my response always is their gold could go up based on demand. Egon gets it. Alligator never gets it. He always thinks that the dollar's got to lose value for the gold price to go up. Like, in other words, gold never changes value. It's just the dollar gets weaker, so it takes more dollars to buy the gold, which is partially right. But when you're suppressing it, it's not. So why, if that's the case, and the dollar's lost 99% of its value, why is gold only at 2,700? I did an analysis that if the dollar went from $100 to now $100 is worth what? So it's lost 99% of its value. I figured out that gold should be 180,000 an ounce. If you took the same, in other words, so that should have gained 99%. But the way I did it, it was, I don't remember what I did. I'm trying to refigure it because the $35 would have jumped to 180,000. If it's based on the dollar going down, gold would go up by the amount. So gold has not gone up to 99% that the dollar went from $100 being worth 100 to $100 being worth one. So it lost 99% of its value. Gold didn't go up 99%. That's my point. And that's where I've got alligator, but he always is saying it's not gold going up. I don't know why he's saying that. Now people aren't going to invest in gold because they don't think it goes up, but yet gold goes up. Why did it go up today? And then if it goes up tomorrow, did the dollar gain value? The dollar never gains value. You've printed out 160 trillion. The dollar's losing value every day. So why would gold have a day where it drops? And how do you explain that, alligator, that the dollar went down and gold went down? Wait a minute. I thought it was gold goes up when the dollar goes down. So I think his concept's so flawed to say it like that. Yes, it's the $35 and now it takes 2,700 to buy the same ounce of gold. The ounce of gold doesn't change, but the dollars does, and it does go up because it's been suppressed. It's not anywhere near where it should be. So yes, gold is going up because the dollar's already gone down 99% and now it needs to go up. So that's why I say gold's like 20, 30,000, and that probably is conservative and probably very low. I think we're expecting much more because as at the end of the Titanic and everybody realizes the boat's sinking and there's a panic to jump in, it's the same thing with the dollar. As the dollars, and I've shown you the 10 European countries, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, the UK, Japan, China, Hungary, Romania, Poland, as they're all going broke, what are they going to do? Their dollars are worthless. So what's the option? Buy gold. So you're going to have this frenzy into gold, but there's not any gold left. Of the 201,000 tons, there's maybe 1,000 tons left. That's it, if that. So 200,000 tons is either in Russia's hands, China's hands, India or Saudi Arabia, or India's already made it into jewelry. There's like 93,000 tons in jewelry that's already been made. So there's nothing left. So when all these people start coming in, I need gold. Well, you're not getting mine for 2,700. I told you that story. I went to our shop, and the guy says we need eagles, 1 ounce eagles. I'll give you $2,000 for it. At that time, the price was probably 2,000. And I said, add a zero to it, make it 20,000, and I'll give you my ounce, not at two. I'm not selling this so cheaply, but I am under the impression, and I was, I know that this price is way cheap. That's why I sing and dance every time I leave the store, because I know I bought a $20,000 ounce of gold for $2,000, and it's like, I'm like a drug addict. Let me buy more. Let me buy more. I mean, this is a joke. I only work so I get paid so I can buy more gold. That's it, because all my money's in the gold and silver now. Bobby Bow. Yeah, try hitting the bell, or maybe unsubscribing and subscribe back. I don't know. I think the time is good since you cover football economics, nutrition, women's Stoicism. We do it all here. So you think 2 hours is good? Yeah, I guess some people just come for the football, and then when I finish it, they leave. Luke and our friend Pat from Singapore comes for the economics. I'm surprised Pat's not here. He usually knows, like this time, and it's like 5 a.m. in Singapore, but he comes on. His mom has cancer, so I showed him one of our doctors how to cure cancer, the new Barbara O'Neill on how to cure cancer, I think, or it might have been our other guy, and she's fine now. So we're curing people from cancer. I love it. We do it all here. I help you with your money and help you with your health. Yeah, the women thing, I like to help people. Like I said, I'm not talking to Jen anymore. I get very stoic. I did it with my ex when I got divorced. I just stopped talking. I'm just like, I got nothing to say. I don't want to hang around with you. There's no point. I was talking with this girl, lifeguard, yesterday at the gym. I was on the bike and she was walking through, so she was not at the pool. And she goes, "Hi, Howard, how are you?" She likes me, I guess. And she was talking about this guy who wouldn't call her, and he's not going to call her, and they're playing games. I says, "Do you want to go out with him or not?" And she says, "No, but he wants me to chase him, but I think the guy should chase the girl." And I says, "Fuck all that. Do you want to be with him? Be with him. If you don't want to be with him, tell him to fuck off." And I said that to her, and then I kind of said, maybe I shouldn't have said that, just the way the kids are with the language now. She's probably 18, 19, 20, a lifeguard. Most of them are like high school students. And so I said, just tell them to fuck off and move on with your life and be with whoever you want. But it shouldn't be a game of chase. It should just be, you like somebody, you go up to them, let's get to know each other and go out for coffee or dinner or barbecue, whatever. Luke talks a little bit of sports, but he just sticks to the Pittsburgh teams. He's from Pittsburgh, and he sells tennis rackets. He's a sales rep for a tennis company. So, yeah, he's probably not like we are with all the sports, but he does. I don't know if he even plays tennis or stuff, but he goes to the Steeler games or the Pirate games, and he lives in Pittsburgh. So that's all I know. I met him in, of all places, Barcelona. And I was talking to my friend. It was like 6 a.m. So I'm just leaving a message on WhatsApp, but you can leave like a 10-minute message. So I'm telling him about the gold and about this and economics and what happened in Spain. And he's kind of listening in, but I don't care that he's listening. It's not personal. I'm talking about gold. And then we talked for like 45 minutes before the flight. And then I saw him on the flight, and we were going to Philadelphia, and then he was going to Pittsburgh. I was coming to Detroit. And I gave him my card. I says, I do the class. He was very excited because it's hard to explain. It's like, uh, very few people understand this, right? So if you're into gold, very few people understand gold. Most people will be in stocks or Bitcoin, and so you don't talk. And I mentioned you in class the other day. I don't know if you saw it about your daughter. I says, the problem is you with your daughter. You get it's almost like forget about it. You just you don't want to even talk about it because it drains you. It was one of those the stoic draining, and it's like you need to meditate and you need to relax and you need to recharge. Basically, we recharge, and you don't even want to have the battle with your daughter. You don't even want to go there. It's like, look, I'm buying gold and silver. Either you want to learn about it or forget it. But I'm not going to explain why we were going to buy gold, and I'm not going to explain about going to the grocery store with gold. When the paper goes out, what are you going to go to the grocery store with? And as prices go up, this is happening to Daria in Russia, the prices are going up. And I said, that's what the gold and silver does. The price of the gold and silver goes up with it. So we can still buy. Our price didn't really go up because our value of our gold and silver went up. That whatever you're buying in Russia or here, that price went up. The silver price and the gold price went up the same amount or more. And that's the point. So now the silver will buy the same amount today as it did a year ago, as it did 2 years ago. That's the point of it. So anyway, it just becomes you don't want to, like, I think I brought up the example. I don't want to keep explaining to people about buying gold. Look, you buy it. Either you're with us or you're not. And if you're not, I'm going to stop trying to convince you to buy gold. I'm going to stop trying to be the hero and say, look, I'm going to save you and buy gold. My Batman complex. But that's the problem is I'm tired of trying to convince you. It's too exhausting because you go nowhere. You're just beating your head into the ground. So if you're into gold, I will teach you. That's why I like the class. Everybody comes because they know they're into gold and they understand it. And we're all on the same page. And the guys that don't, I'm tired of trying to convince them. Buy gold. No, I got stocks. Okay, good. You keep your stocks. We'll keep our gold. We'll see who wins. And so I've done that. Let me get to this stoic one. Oh, yeah, you and Jenna still haven't spoken since Italy. I don't text her anymore, and she doesn't text me. She's probably blocked me if I know Jenna. She just kept saying, Howard, it's not Positano, it's Positano. And my name isn't Jenna, it's Gina or Evgena. But in Russia, she spells it Jenya. So I always call her Jenna. It's like calling you Bobby, and you're saying, no, it's Billy or something. So I keep calling her Jenna like for 10 years now. And now she's like, Howard, it's Gina, not Jenna. And she kept bitching about everything. And I just was like, I can't take it anymore. I'm not in a real, I help you out. I help your family. And this is not, I don't deserve this or want this. And I'm not with you to be treated like this, like a child. So I'm not into that. Now, Daria doesn't talk to me, but we haven't spoken. It's all on WhatsApp, but she's cool about everything. So hopefully we can meet soon because Putin's going, Trump's going to Russia to meet Putin in Moscow to try to end the war. And I guess there's a talk between Zelensky and Trump today to try to end the war and reach peace agreement. I don't know if they can, but they'll try. So if Trump's going there, it's to end the war. Trump looks at it as a business decision. It's a cost. There's no revenue in it. So Trump doesn't want to see people die, and it's costing us a lot of money to go to a war that we're not even in. And that's the problem. Zelensky just wants the money, and he's stealing the money. And Trump and Putin doesn't want it because he's sitting there going, it's costing me money. I could be buying more gold with it. Um, so that's really the problem. And now, once that's settled, and then I can actually use my money in Russia, then I'll go to Russia to visit Daria. Um, I think she wants me to come to her place more than meeting in Turkey or Serbia, because she's very limited where Russians can travel to, and that's what we'll do. So hopefully March, April, I can finally go meet her. And again, it's totally different meeting there. Like I said, Jenna, she didn't at first correct me, but she told me her name is Jenna. What am I supposed to do? So anyway, no, I don't text her. I don't. If she would text me, I would respond, but I don't, and she doesn't. So I just focus on Daria, and off I go, basically. So I'm pretty tight with Daria now, and that's basically it. But there's a girl lifeguard that I am pretty friendly with. She's going in the Navy. She wanted to be a fighter pilot. She tried to go into the Air Force. They didn't let her in, so she's trying to be in with the airplanes and the fighter planes. I don't know if she wants to be a mechanic or fly them or whatever. And so she's joining the Navy Monday. And I'm shaking my head going, what the fuck are you going in the Navy for? Like, there's 2 wars going on, right? Like, what are you doing? So she says she's got to go to some basic training and then go to Pepsi-Cola, Florida to do some more training and, probably end up in the Middle East. And I'm trying to tell her, are you out of your mind? But I says, I'll support you, whatever you want. Now, we've never dated. We talk at the pool, but I think she likes the way I talk to her because I talk to her like a person. So I told her I'd take her out before, and then she can text me or call me if she's got problems there, because I'm sure she'll be scared shitless in the barracks in the Navy, whatever. So I said, if you want, but I don't know if she wanted to go out, but she hasn't. And I was just as friends, just to, you're going to be in war. If you need to talk to somebody who's kind of neutral outside of your family, I'll listen and help you. So we'll see. When was that again? November or December? No, we came back the 17th of October, and then I got the job like the next week. As I was in Italy, they were trying to get a hold of me to interview me. That happened in Spain too, in Barcelona at the airport. Going to Barcelona, I interviewed with Harley, and then the following month, so it was like a Thursday, and the following Monday, I got the job. And same thing here. They were trying to get a hold of me. I said, well, I'm in Italy. When I come back, we can Teams. And then I got the job, and they said, can you start tomorrow? And I said, yeah, I got to pay for the trip. She was a lifeguard at the pool. The girl going in the Navy, not Jenna. Jenna's in Ukraine. We met online. The girl was a lifeguard. Then she went in as a supervisor. We always were friendly. She always would say hi to me. I could see she liked me, and she'd smile at me. And so I gave her my number, and she gave me hers. And I said, let's go to dinner, and we can get to know each other better. And we know each other pretty good. She told me all her wanting to be in the Air Force, and I tell her about gold. And she's been busy, and I'm sure she's got a lot on her mind. I don't know if she has a boyfriend or not, but I don't really care. And anyway, it's just a friend. And, so we'll see. I texted her today. I haven't heard back from her about, well, if you got time, we can, I'll be free for you this weekend. We can have a nice dinner and we have a nice chat, and then off you go. So we'll see. But she's probably really busy and probably freaking out. Who would volunteer to go in the fucking Navy? Are you kidding me? I don't get that at all. Maybe she's just really poor, and they'll pay for the education, and she wants to be a fighter pilot, so it's the best way to do it. Now, I don't know why she wants to be a fighter pilot. She's never flown in a plane before, or she's never flown a plane. So how do you know you want to be a fighter pilot or a pilot in the Air Force if you've never flown? Yeah, she shouldn't go to the military. They will send her to war. Well, yeah, I mean, that's normally maybe not, but you have two wars going on. Now you don't fly in the Ukraine. Russia will shoot you down, but you do fly in Israel. So, they'll get her up and running pretty quickly. What Zelensky's doing with the Ukrainians, he's basically kidnapping 16, 17, 18-year-old kids, going into bars and restaurants, pulling them out and putting them in the army, and 70-year-old guys. And he's putting them in the army to fight because he doesn't have anybody, because they've got 1 million dead. And this is Zelensky for you. What a fucking loser that guy is. Yeah, I know a lot of young people tend to choose the military, when they are not too sure of what they want to do. Well, I think it's a free education, so they sell it like that. So if you're poor, I can't go to college. How am I going to live? But they know they need the skill set, so they go into the army figuring, well, I won't go into battle. Yeah, but not when we're in the middle of two wars. You certainly might go into battle, especially in the Navy. They're in the Middle East there. So I'm not quite too sure how, but she said, well, I'm just going to repair airplanes. I'm like, don't be too sure. I wouldn't trust the military. Although with Trump in, you're getting more competent people. I at least see that. He's fired a lot of the Biden people, and Biden pardons his whole crew because he knows they're all illegal. Fauci and these guys, they're all a bunch of crooks. So he pardons them all. He pardoned his whole family, and he couldn't give a reason. Well, just in case they committed crimes, they'll be taken care of. You're like, Jesus. I thought we had laws in this country that you can't commit problems, and then he's letting them out. It's like, you got to be kidding me. I had several younger cousins who've done that in the past. Did they get in and out? Of course, I don't know. Here, there's two wars going on, so I'd be very skeptical. And I know a lot of people aren't joining the military. Their recruiting's way down because it's all LBQGK or whatever the hell that is. So it's tough to go into the Army and have a functioning, unit. It's very hard because it's that DEI crap. Anyway, let me show you a video on IQ, and you'll. So I was just starting to watch Egon. It just came on, so I'm watching that. Okay, 4 things only geniuses do. You'll like this, Bobby. This is
4 things only geniuses do. 1. They stare at walls. Geniuses often spend time just staring at a wall. It's a way to reset their minds and let their subconscious work through problems. While it looks like they're doing nothing, their brain is firing on all cylinders. 2. They question everything. Geniuses don't just accept things at face value.
Boy, that's
They
me.
constantly ask why and how to dig deeper. If something doesn't make sense, they'll break it down until it does. 3. They talk to themselves. Geniuses are known to hold full conversations with themselves. This self-talk helps them clarify ideas, organize thoughts, and even work problems that others would give up on. 4. They teach what they learn. The smartest people know that teaching is the final step to mastering something. Whether it's explaining a concept to someone else or writing it down for themselves, geniuses reinforce what they know by sharing it.
So there you go. I guess I'm a genius because I do all that. That's why I'm doing this, right? So it's exactly, yeah, that was stoic. I had one cousin tell me, Bobby, I can't keep a job and feel lost, so I'm going to the military. And he signed up for the Marine a couple of months later, but that was when it was like in 2001. Well, I don't know that the military gives you, I mean, I guess it gives you, pays for college and it gives you some skill you gain there. But they reshape you and they brainwash you into following orders, which is not stoic, as I just said it. Boy, is that, I must be a genius because I question everything. I don't believe anything. I got to teach. I do teach myself, but it's usually like, okay, what am I going to do with my money? Do I want to buy gold with it, or am I going to put it in my safe? Do I want to buy silver? I have this conversation every like Thursday when I get paid. I go, well, I can't leave the money in the bank because I know I can't get it out and it'll be worthless. So I either take the money and I put it in the safe and I build the safe up, or I take the money and buy gold and silver. So there's a point where I get enough money in the safe that I can then, any new money goes to gold and silver. But I have this discussion every week. I go, what am I going to do? What are we going to do? But we know we can't leave it in the bank. So tomorrow I'll go to the bank, pull out some money, and I think I'll put it in the safe because I bought an ounce and a tenth last week. So maybe I could buy a quarter ounce, but I think I'll wait because I've lost so much pay this week because I didn't get paid for Christmas or New Year's, and then lost the day with Martin Luther King. So I lost quite a bit of pay this month, and so I think I will take it. Well, part of it is because it's more I'm thinking out loud. That's what we're doing. We're not talking like, we're not having a conversation. Well, what do you think of the weather today? Well, it's a little bit cold. I'll bitch about it, but I won't. That's not what I'm talking about. I'll be in the pool and I'll be talking. I also stare a lot in the hot tub. I'll just stare at the wall or stare at the water or stare at a person. And I get into like this mental place where it's very relaxing. And I just kind of am staring, but I'm not like staring at anybody, but I'm staring around it. I think I'm stealing their energy because I notice when there's people around, I won't stare at them, but I'll stare close to them. And I get into a deep kind of trance feeling. I know where I'm at, but it's nice and relaxing. Yeah, funny thing is he went to Marines for about 7 years and didn't know what to do and ended re-enlisting about 2 years later. So it didn't help him figure it out. I tell people there's two ways. I say, what don't you want to do? And that'll get you to what you want to do. I always, because I watched football since I was like 5 years old, I remember the Ice Bowl and stuff like that. I'd collect baseball cards back in the 70s, and they'd have the stats on them. So I became interested in math. And then I was picking football. I'm like 10 years old. I'm picking football games. And I questioned when I lost, why did I lose? And that's how I got to where I am now, because I hate losing. So it was like, why did I lose that game? And you would understand it, which led you to refigure so you would not lose. And you can't not lose, but you can get 75% as I do because of perfecting how do I pick the game. And when I picked the games and I walked through it, I said, Washington's going to win because Daniels is the best player on the field. And then it gets down to Mahomes and Allen, and Mahomes is going to win. And so I was able to calculate what's going on, looking at the defenses, looking at the stars always win. And that's how I developed it. And the defenses now are a big part of it. And it all evolved. But that's because I lost, and I'd go, why did I lose? I think I shared that with you guys about that game in Vegas, Cincinnati and Philadelphia with Boomer Esiason. and I had Philly -1 at home. It was -7. I teased it to -1, and at the end of the game, it's close, and Cincinnati wins at the end of the game. And I was pissed off, and I said, "Why did I lose?" And that's what I had to break down. Wait a minute, because Cincy's a good team. They had a good quarterback. Probably the bet would have been Cincy in 13. And that's what I learned was kind of why did I lose that game? No, it wasn't a big bet, but it was a loss, and I don't like to lose. So it forces you to think. Now, I probably went 9-2 that day and nailed everything, but I lost that game. And it was, you're just trying to figure that out. Yeah, I talked to myself and sort of strategizing about some things, but not how's the weather. Yeah. Well, I'm sure when you played baseball, if you went 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts, I guarantee you had to talk to yourself about why did I strike out 4 times? What did I do wrong? What am I looking for? What am I missing that I'm striking out? I mean, the ball comes over the plate, hit the ball. It's not difficult. I was a very good hitter. And I basically, when I was coaching my daughter's fast pitch team, I said, just see the ball and hit it. You see the ball coming in and your hand-eye coordination will take you to the ball. Just see where it is and swing at it. I don't ever see my bat hitting the ball. Never could see it. All I saw was the ball coming in. I said, there it is. It's a strike. And I'd swing at it and I'd hit it every time. I very rarely swung and missed. Softball, I hit like 700. I mean, the only time I'd get out, I'd line out to second or something. But I couldn't explain how to hit other than just swing at what you're looking at. Look at the ball. I had one girl looked at the bat. How the hell can you hit? She's looking at the head of the bat, not the ball. All of a sudden, I said, no, watch the ball, not the bat. And all she started hitting because she kept her eye on the ball instead of the bat. I don't know where she got. Look at the bat. All right. Now there's some more. So that's a genius, which I feel, now I'm not trying to be conceited, but I do all 4 of those things. I question, I teach because I know, and I know. I'm not like, this isn't my opinion. That's why I kind of get upset at the Bitcoiners. This is not an opinion. This is what's happening. This is real. This is facts. This is never an opinion. When I'm teaching you here, either on football, it's really not an opinion. This is, after looking at the facts, this is what's going to happen. Now, maybe Mahomes loses, but okay. But I had the Lions-Washington over. I knew it was going to be high scoring. I didn't know it'd be 80, but I picked it over. So if everything comes according to what I've analyzed, then this is the outcome I should get. Now, with gold and silver, we know it's being price fixed by JP Morgan, but what's different? Why is it going to go up now? It's because of BRICS. And they're buying it, and they're going to want the price going up. And once COMEX gets dried out of all the gold and silver, COMEX disappears. Russia and China start pricing it because they have all of it, and that's why it'll blow up, and we're going to go for the ride. And when I give you 20, 30,000 an ounce, I'm damn sure I'm very conservative about. Same thing with 2,000 an ounce silver. I am 100% sure it's going to be at least that because of the suppressant and everybody jumping, into the lifeboats once their dollars collapse, which I'm 100% sure all the dollars are going to collapse because the more you print, the less they're worth and less the dollars back. So everything makes perfect sense. It's been price fixed by Morgan. That's why the prices are cheap. And I tell you, buy them because they're keeping the price down. Don't bitch about why isn't the price going up. More so, this is another opportunity to buy more gold and silver, and you'll be fine with it. You can't lose with it. It's a lock. But I'm analyzing it, and I'm not guessing, and it's not an opinion. Well, maybe gold will go up. No, for sure, 100% gold will go up. And I think if we can get to 2,800 tomorrow, because we're at 2,760, we get to 2,800 tomorrow, we go to 3,000. I don't know why the banks are still shorting it. I mean, there's huge demand for it with BRICS. Do they even understand BRICS and know about it? I seriously don't understand it people are coming to your store, buying. Why would you short? Why would you bet that the price is going to go down when you have high demand that is buying it, which should make the price go up because the demand's being high? You think Mahomes is going to lose? I think he'll lose the Super Bowl. I think there's only two quarterbacks that can beat him. One is Daniels and one's Burrow. That's it. I do not think Allen can beat him, and I know Hurts can't. So that's really what you have. The only two that can beat him. Burrow beat him, and then Daniels, he's going to have to really have a great game to beat Daniels. Because Daniels, you can't blitz him because he just runs the other way. He's a very clever runner. He can avoid tackles. He knows the blitz, and he's got good outs. And these guys aren't open. They're wide open. I've never seen anything like it. 3rd and 10, and he throws the ball, and the guy's like all by himself. And you're just sitting there going, why aren't they covering him? Because he can read blitzes. All right, let's see. I'm venturing into chosen ones. I think I'm a chosen one, which is like a religious thing, although I'm not religion. We have superpowers, so I have to watch that video. All right, Egon.
Don't ask me about the timing. You asked me, tell me one of the things you've learned during your life, and I said patience. And I've learned to be patient because I see things inevitably going to happen. They don't happen in the time period you think. As I see it, we are at the end of a major financial era now. I think this is going to end very badly. And whether that takes another 10 years or 5 years or 3 years, we don't know. And I've stopped forecasting time and I've stopped forecasting price. I focus on direction and risk. And that stood me in good stead. So I think if you look at the gold market as an investment market, because that's how the majority of people look at it, we haven't started yet. And as I said, price will move up constantly and strongly over many, many years.
Imagine. There you go. You can't get any better than that. Let's go to a stoic one. Here's one on women, but it's a stoic women one. So
most men think money is the ultimate key to a woman's heart. But here's the truth. If you don't master the 3 things I'm about to share, no amount of wealth will matter. While others waste time chasing riches, you're about to discover something that most will never understand. And it'll set you apart for life. 1. Emotional control. Imagine this. You're on a date, everything's going well, and then suddenly a waiter spills wine on you. Embarrassment fills the room. Most men would overreact, angry, flustered, maybe even shouting at the waiter. But a stoic man? He stays calm, collected, even cracks a lighthearted joke to diffuse the tension. You see, emotional control is magnetic. A woman doesn't just want a man who's rich, she wants a man who can handle life's storms without losing his cool. Why? Because your emotional presence tells her something no flashy car or watch ever could. I am safe with you. Think about Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoics. He ruled the Roman Empire with calmness and clarity despite facing war, betrayal, and plague. Now imagine embodying just a fraction of that. It's not just attractive, it's irresistible. When you master your emotions, you don't just stand out, you become unforgettable. So let me ask you, the next time life tests you, will you lose control, or will you show that rare, powerful calm? The choice is yours. 2. Purpose. Now picture this. A man wakes up every day, unsure of what he's doing with his life. He drifts, scrolling his phone for hours, waiting for something or someone to give him direction. That man doesn't attract. He repels.
Sounds like your cousin.
Now, contrast that with a man who wakes up with fire in his heart. He's not chasing a woman's validation. He's chasing his purpose. Whether it's building a business, creating art, or changing lives, his mission drives him. And here's the irony. When you focus on your purpose, women naturally gravitate toward you. Think of Epictetus, born a slave, yet he didn't let his circumstances define him. He dedicated his life to philosophy, leaving behind wisdom that inspires millions today. That's the kind of purpose I'm talking about. You don't need $1 million bank account to live with purpose. You just need a reason to wake up every day and give it your all. And trust me, when you have that, she'll notice. Because deep down, every woman wants to stand beside a man who's chasing something bigger than himself. Are you that man? 3. Integrity. Here's a story for you. A man once promised his girlfriend he'd help her move on a Saturday. But then his friends called inviting him to a party. He made an excuse and left her waiting, thinking it wouldn't matter because it's just one little lie. But it does matter. Integrity is about doing what you say you'll do, even when it's inconvenient. It's about being the man she can trust, whether she's watching or not. When you're honest, consistent, and reliable, you're rare. Why? Because in a world full of shortcuts, you become the man who always chooses the higher path. And that's priceless. Seneca once wrote, "The greatest wealth is a contented mind." But I'd add to that, a clear conscience is just as valuable. Integrity isn't just about impressing her. It's about being able to look in the mirror and respect the man staring back at you. So here's the question. When no one's looking, are you still the man you claim to be? Because she'll feel it, whether you say it or not. Here's what no one tells you. Money might catch her eye, but emotional control will hold her attention. Purpose will spark her admiration. And integrity, that's what will make her trust and respect you. These are the things that go deeper than any paycheck, and they're what women secretly love more than money. The beauty of Stoicism is that it teaches you to focus on what truly matters. And when you live by these principles, not only will you attract the right kind of woman, you'll build a life that's fulfilling beyond anything money can buy. If this video made you think, or maybe even question how you've been living, don't just leave it here. Hit that like button because every time you do, you're one step closer to becoming the man you were meant to be.
It's a like.
Subscribe because this journey doesn't end here. Together, we'll keep unlocking truths that most people will never dare to explore. And share this with someone who needs it, because the world needs more men like you. Let's make it happen.
Let me show you.
But what is not?
Boy, I'll tell you, that's how I am with Daria. She says she feels safe with me. She knows I have money, but if I tell her I'm going to help her out or help her with rent, or I said, well, let me get paid, and I always do that. I don't ever miss it. And she trusts me and she feels safe with me. So it's a lot of that too. And she knows I buy gold and I work. So all that. So that's what she likes. That's what I thought Jenna would have liked. But then Jenna started giving that. So I said, well, Jenna really doesn't love me because she's giving me a hard time about her name, where I don't get that from Daria. So anyway, that's basically what we do. Being stoic, you live to your own standard, and you're honest. If you say I'm going to do something, when I tell you I'm going to be on Saturday at 10 o'clock for college football, I'm here Saturday at 10 o'clock. Now here it's a little bit different during the week because I'm working and I don't know exactly when, but I don't say it either. So it's always being, you be honest. When I'm teaching, I am very honest. I'm bringing insights into my life to help, because everybody, where are you going to hear it from? But I'm being honest. So if I bring up Jenna or Daria, I'm being honest about what's going on. And when I bring up gold, I'm being extremely honest. Like I am like a little kid in a candy store going, buy gold, buy silver. You can't lose. You're going to make a fortune. And when I tell people and they don't listen, it gets me very frustrated because I'm going, I'm not lying. I'm doing it. You should be doing it. Well, I got money in the stock market. I mean, it's like they don't get it. They don't want to. They're not stoic. So I think that's part of it. Here's one. Germany is gone. I'm not going to get into this, but the car companies are going, and that's basically what Germany is. Mercedes and BMW, and they're going. Bobby, yeah, I like Stoicism. Yeah, I know. That's why I play it. Does Daria have gold or just silver right now? It doesn't have anything. She has nothing. She's a poor girl. She's growing up in Russia. She does live in St. Pete. From what I know, she does have a credit card because she said she's got it and she has to pay it. But I'm just paying her regular anyway. Um, she does work and she has some money, but not a lot. And she's been surviving, but now she's got somebody like me. Now she can relax more. Um, the one thing about her, when she gets on her period, she gets these big stomach cramps and everything. And her downstairs hurts every time she gets her period. She basically just goes to sleep, stays home. So I tell her to put castor oil on it because since I found castor oil, look at my hair. I mean, you can see hair here. I know when I look like this, you can't. It's light, but there's a lot of hair coming in from castor oil and coconut oil. I mix it up, I nuke it, and then I just rub it in my head. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of hair here where it's not. But I know when I look like that, it looks balder, but it's very light. And with this light, and it's coming in more gray because I'm more gray. Does she do the fasting? No, she does, not for the same reason. She just doesn't have money to eat. Today she was having mushroom soup for dinner. She is very thin, and but I like thin girls. And and then she's got her daughter to take care of. So I give her a lot of credit for taking care of the daughter. She says I was helping her with homework, and so I got her a closet. I says, now that we got your wallpapers, anything else I can do for you? And she says she wants a closet. It's like opens up and there's hangers and drawers and stuff. And so I go, how much is it? She says, well, it's 29,000 rubles. And I do the math. It's $210. I said, shit, I can get you that for $210. I mean, that's where I know she's being honest with me. And this is, and that'll make her happy. So she says, I got to keep ironing my clothes. And the way she has it now, that adds value to her life. And that's the point of me, is I can add value to it. Let's see. 5 signs of a negative person in Stoic.
The 5 obvious signs of a truly evil person. Not everyone who enters your life has good intentions. Here are 5 unsettling signs that you're dealing with someone truly dangerous. 1. They thrive on chaos. Evil people don't just cause problems. They relish in the destruction they create. If drama always follows them, it's not a coincidence. 2. They weaponize your kindness. They twist your compassion into control, making you feel guilty for setting boundaries. To them, your empathy is a tool to exploit. 3. They play the long game. True malevolence isn't always obvious. Some patiently wait, using time to manipulate, control, or harm when you least expect it. 4. They lack remorse. No matter the damage they cause, they justify their actions without a hint of regret. Apologies are rare, and genuine change is non-existent. 5. They twist truth into lies. Masters of distortion, they manipulate reality to make you question yourself. Gaslighting isn't just a tactic, it's their weapon of choice.
Boy, that was
People say to me, John, I don't have time to create content.
That was my brother. He'd manipulate. He'd take me out to dinner, and then he'd say, I took you to dinner. Can you go pick up files and make copies for me and run errands? But I took you to dinner. Well, I didn't ask you to take me to dinner, and I didn't know there was like rules that if you take me to dinner, I then have to work for you and do these errands for you. Do them yourself. I'm not your errand boy. But that's where somebody takes advantage of you. He wanted the company. He didn't like being alone. He didn't like eating alone. So I would eat alone. I would eat with him. I didn't want the free meal. I'd argue sometimes going, look, let me pay, or let's at least, I'll pay for, no, I got it. But then the consequences came. So that's why we don't talk. It was all that manipulation. And now I'm understanding it better.
So if you want to create content, you just document what you're doing. I want you to.
Okay. That reminds me, I had a lot of cayenne pepper earlier on my salmon. I bought salmon today too, Bobby. It was on sale for $12.99, and I said, "Oh, good, $12.99." So I went and got a 2-pounder. So I'm eating that instead of steak because my feet keep bothering me with the steak because the hormones in it. I really have to eat grass-fed steak or grass-fed meat. So lately I've been getting salmon, but I'm a little worried with the mercury, so I try not to eat too much of it. But I got 2 pounds tonight, and I'll cook it over the weekend instead of steaks. I'll have that. My feet have been great. My back's since I've been taking the salt and the pepper, I've been my back's been fine, and everything's been much better. The castor oil's been helping, like I said, growing my hair. Yeah, see, like this, you can see I have hair. Like this, you can't, but you can see it up there, and I'm just thrilled. When I leave for work, I put it on, so I just put it from here all of my scalp, and it looks like I have a mousse in my hair because it's kind of glistening and everything like here. See that it's wet because that's castor oil, but you would think it's mousse. But it looks good and it keeps my hair darker and softer. I'll tell you, this castor oil is great. Oh, let me show you. So I found this castor oil thing. So I've been buying this, which is at Myers, right? A little 4-ouncer for like $5. And I went to Better Health and I really was going to get more Celtic salt. And I found this. This is 16 ounces of castor oil. I'm like, fuck. And this is only like $6. I go, wow. So I bought this at Better Health. And then I found this at Better Health. So initially I bought this, which was like $5, which is like, this is a half pound for like $5 at a health food store. And then I went to Better Health. You can see the difference. This is a full pound, and this was $7. A half pound was $5. So for $2 more, I'm set with Celtic salt for years. So I got my castor oil for a bunch, but I've been going through it because of my hair. So every day I'm castor oil and coconut oil, mixing it up. I nuke it, and then I just put it on my head and leave it on all day. The only time it comes off is when I go swimming or showering in the morning. Bobby Bo. He's an older brother or younger brother. What do you think? What would you guess if he's an older brother or a younger brother? He's an older brother. He's 4 years older than me. And then as I'm watching these jealousy videos, I'm realizing he's very jealous because, the middle child, I have an older sister than him and then me. So he's the boy. And then here I come 4 years later, I pop out and now he doesn't get the attention and he's not the oldest and he takes it out on me. He fought me a lot. He would hit me. He was very mean person, and he used me a lot because I was really good in baseball. So he had a softball team, and I was 16 years old, and he wanted me to play on it. And I was playing like Pony Colt, and after Little League, you'd go into these other leagues, and and I'm like, oh, I want to play baseball. I don't want to play softball. I was a pretty good hitter, and I was a very good fielder. I was a really good player, very coordinated. And so I started playing softball with his team at 16. And he basically just used me there because, I shouldn't. It's a men's league at 18. And his response was, well, yeah, but come on. Yeah, but he's 16. You lost to a 16-year-old. Like, so he's trying to bend it, even though he's breaking the rules into, yeah, but he's younger. And, what's the difference if he can play? Why does it matter that he's 18? I agreed with him. I didn't understand the rule being 18 for a men's softball league. But yeah, and I was the best player on the team at 16, and the other teams knew me, or somebody knew me from from high school or from my high school team, and probably said, "Oh, he's not 18." And my brother didn't give a fuck. He said, and he basically used me because I had a good skill, and I would benefit the team. So yeah, he's older, Bobby Bo. You got a sister, Professor? Just that one, bro. I got a sister too. She's 7 years older than me. Yeah, it has great nutrition in that salmon cayenne pepper meal, and I put the salt on it too. So I make my salmon. I put cayenne and the Celtic salt, and I squeeze lemon, and then I have the Ken's French dressing and honey. No, that's on chicken. The French dressing and the olive oil I mix up, and I put that on. And then I rather broil it than put it in the frying pan. I just find the frying pan, it just tastes a little different. Probably the olive oil I'm putting on the frying pan. But when I broil it, I just coat it but it's not sitting in olive oil. So it's a little better taste I find when I broil it. And then I got to cut it because it's kind of gets that thick part. So you got to kind of cut it in half. Otherwise it stays raw, but you can eat it raw, I guess, because you eat salmon on your bagel, right? So you got to be careful with that. But I bought a 2-pounder, but I'll cook it probably tomorrow or Saturday. I'll probably get Chinese Saturday. I didn't get Chinese last week. I got chicken and ribs. I got the combination on Monday, Martin Luther King Day, and it had gone up $2 in price. I noticed it was 22. It used to be like 17, then it's 19, 22. Now it's 24. And I'm like, you're getting a little bit pricey there. Now it's still affordable, but chicken should not be, that's why sometimes I might just go for the ribs because I can cook the barbecue chicken, which I have in the fridge right now. I don't need their barbecue, not for $24. Yeah, I put cayenne pepper in my salad every day. So I take a salad to work. I put it into this big bowl now. So I kept putting like 6 different containers. Here's my broccoli, my cauliflower, my red and yellow peppers, my spinach, my lettuce. Now I keep my spinach separate, but I put cauliflower and celery, and I cut up some peppers and broccoli, and I put it in this big bowl. Now I just take a few handfuls, and it's all mixed, but it's all fine. And I'll put the lettuce, and then I take a chicken breast and I put it on top of the salad, and then I put more cayenne pepper and Celtic salt on the salad, and I eat it, and I know it's very healthy. So I have that every day for lunch. So when I get home, I'm confused because I really don't want another salad because I'm eating them for lunch. And so I try to make an omelet, or today I had rotisserie chicken. I stopped at the grocery store and got rotisserie and got the salmon. I got some eggs, and then I got a bagel as a treat for tomorrow. How do you make your steak, Professor? Do you use a skillet? No, I broil it. I can use a skillet. Again, I think the difference is, again, you're putting olive oil on the pan and it heats up, and then you're putting the steak on it, but you're getting that olive oil taste. I season it with the pepper, the salt, sometimes garlic, which is very healthy for you. And then let's see, some basil, which is kind of sweet actually, and maybe some turmeric, and then I put Ken's Thousand Island on it. No, Italian. I put Ken's Italian. I just put it over and coat it on. Italian dressing is great on a steak or meat, and I put it on hamburgers. And then I just broil it for like 6-7 minutes aside, and it's nice and cooked. Let it sit for 5 minutes. And the problem is I used to get 3 pounds and I'd eat 2 or 3 hamburgers a day, and it's too much for my feet. My feet can't handle, because there's a lot of hormones in the meat, and it goes into my feet, and the acid of the meat bothers my feet. So now if I do get 3 pounds, I ask for 2 1.5 pounders. And then I have like 4 or 5 hamburgers over 3 or 4 days instead of 3 pounds in 3 days I'm eating, because you'll grab a hamburger for lunch and 2 for dinner, and you don't think of it, but that's the problem with it. It's too much meat. So if I do have it, I want to eat like a hamburger a day with the salad, or put it in my omelet or something, because you got to be careful with the meat. It's the acid in the meat that gives you the gout, or in the sugar. So I got to be careful with that. I did a 52-hour fast last week, and I felt great. But now I'm staying on it. I'm not fasting, but I didn't eat any sweets or anything, no junk, nothing, and no carbs. I'll have the bagel tomorrow, but no cookies and ice cream and stuff, because I've been kind of nibbling on that, especially the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, the Super Bowl. You tend to have, cake and ice cream or something, or that's when you treat. And then I got my birthday in March. So I'm hoping for my birthday present, I'll see Daria in March. If Putin and Trump can get this thing settled, that would be nice. And then I could give her some gold. I know it's hard to give gold. Here's the thing on Michael Saylor. What does Michael Saylor do to sell Bitcoin? He says, well, his only motive and his only selling mechanism is, if I go into an airport and I bring $100,000 worth of gold, I'd have a hard time, I'd have to pay tariff. Or if I took $100,000 in cash, I would have problems. But Bitcoin, I can just do it on my phone, whatever country I'm at. Now, first of all, nobody's taking $100,000 worth of gold. Now, when gold hits 20,000 an ounce, I'll be taking 100 grand, because I could take these 5. These are chips, my Caesar's chips. This is the size of my gold coins, and put them in my pocket, and nobody will know I have them. So yeah, it'll be very easy to take 100,000 in cash. And believe me, nobody knows you have it. The X-ray machines, when you go through and you take your shoes off and everything, they never check for gold. They check for weapons. They're not even looking for gold. What I do is I take like 5 or 6 quarters and dimes, and I put them in there with the gold, and I've never been stopped. And then when I get to the country, I never go through customs. I just go, and usually I'm bringing Jenna an ounce of gold or something, like I did in Italy. And there's not even a customs to go to customs. I mean, you just walk, get your luggage, and go. And that's it. Once you're done, you're done. Nobody cares. Nobody's chasing you. So, I mean, that's the point. It's very easy to do. But he's trying to sell the Bitcoin as, well, you can use it. And, I'm in Italy, I can use my Bitcoin. No, I can't, because nobody's taking Bitcoin. All I can do is sell it and have it go into my bank account, and then ATM it. Well, what am I going to do? ATM $100,000 of Bitcoin? No. So, I mean, his whole rationale was so out the window. This is the big selling point of Bitcoin, is I can't go to an airport with $100,000 worth of gold, which nobody in their right mind would. I wouldn't take 50 ounces of gold. Certainly, I would do that before I took a bunch of silver, but you're going to transport it. So these people who have the James Bond 400-ounce gold bars are probably FedExing it or shipping it. They're not taking it themselves into the airport. And if they do, I don't know how they would do it. It would show up on the X-ray, and then they just say, yeah, I got gold. I don't know if leaving, I don't know what you do. Coming into the country, you can probably just walk right through it. Most of these in Europe, I never see any problem. I never even see customs. You're never like going, yeah, I'm declaring this. You're never doing it. Only when you come into the U.S. are you declaring. So if I'm going to Egon to put money into his vault, I'm not saying a word. I'm going to his vault. Here's the money, and here's my gold, and then I'm leaving. So that's it. what position I played in the field. Second base. I was a real good second baseman and a pretty good shortstop, and I could play outfield. Now I'm left-handed, and when I was 5 years old, my dad was my coach in Little League, and he said, "Well, Howard, you can." He had me put the glove on my left hand instead of my right hand. He says, "Well, this way you can play all the positions." And I would have been much better off playing left-handed. I could have played. I still could have played second or short or outfield, but I could have been a real good pitcher. And so I became ambidextrous, so I learned how to throw right-handed. But because I was 5 years old, I played second base because I couldn't make a throw from short. But I was very good at catching the grounder, so I'd catch the grounder. But because I'm left-handed and I'm throwing right-handed, I don't have the power. So second base was close enough. That's how I became a second baseman at 5. And then as I grew bigger and stronger, I could play shortstop. And I made very few errors. Being stoic in INFJ, I could read the batters, and I would make double plays. Like on balls hit up the middle, I would get a jump on them, and I'd catch the ball, step on second, throw to first. It was all feel, and I was very good. Very few errors, and I hit about 700. So softball was easy. Just see the ball and hit it as hard as you can, and I hit a lot to right center. But if you pitched me inside, I'd pull it down the line. So you couldn't pitch me. I was very, very hand-eye coordinated. You should try F played with me and Barry. Yeah, it would have been fun. I don't know if I could have played pro, but I could hit a curveball and a fastball, and I could feel like crazy. So yeah, it would have been nice. Play with the big boys. My only concern was the pitching got really fast. Was how did you not worry about getting hit? But I could hit the ball. So when I got like the Pony Colt and it was 13, 14, and now the kids can throw, I could still hit, but it was, I remember playing my friend. I was 14 in Pony, and my friend who was on my high school team was on the other team, and he was a fast pitcher. But he knew I could hit. So I get up with the bases loaded, and I'll never forget this. And first pitch is wild, run scores. Second pitch is wild, run scores. Third pitch is wild, run scores. He's overthrowing because he knows I can hit, and he's trying to throw real fast. He wants to strike me out. The next pitch is a strike. The next pitch, I line it to right center like a shot, like a cannon. It was probably 20 feet off the ground. It went all the way. I was playing at this rec center for Southfield. It's a city. And we're playing on the big diamond, and there was a swimming pool about 330 away. And I hit it all the way to the fence, lined it. It didn't go like over the fence or in the air, but like lined it up the gap, and it just rolled all the way to the fence. And I loved it. That's like the moment. And I just smiled at him and just like, you can't strike me out. What, are you kidding me? I amazed myself because it was a fast pitch, and I just saw it and I just ripped it, and I caught it clean, and it was such a good feeling. I got concerned about dark chocolate because I was reading that some brands have a lot of lead and heavy metals in them, so I switched up the brand I get now that has less metals in it. I've never heard that. Thanks for telling me. I normally get the Giraldi. Sometimes I get the other one with the L, but sometimes it doesn't taste good. It's like stale. Maybe that's the metal you're talking about. But normally Giraldi, or I go to Walmart, they have this Swiss brand. It's cheaper. Maybe that has the metal in it. I don't know. But I get 4 or 5 of those. And that's what gives me my sweet tooth. As long as I'm eating dark chocolate, I'm fine because there's no sugar. But then when you run out, you're running to buy ice cream or cookies or cake because you got that sweet tooth, but you don't have the dark chocolate to satisfy it. So I'll probably get some tomorrow. I got to go to Walmart get some avocados and stuff like that. Any thoughts on dark chocolate having heavy metal? I'll research it. I've never heard it. I was disappointed because I've been enjoying dark chocolate as a great healthy snack. I'll check it out. Do you know the brands? Did they give you a brand? I'm sure the manufacturer doesn't want to put metal and steel into his candy. I think these Schiraldi and Lindt, I think, would not have it. I don't know. I've never heard that. So are you sure it's real, or is it Kit Kat and M&M's trying to get you off of dark chocolate? I mean, theirs is bad enough. They have sugar in it, and sugar will do more damage than the metals. Giraldi is the good one that I just switched to because it has less lead and all that. So that's the healthy one. I don't really like. Would it say lead in the ingredients? Yeah, we have dark chocolate and milk and eggs and steel. We have nails in it and stuff like that. Lindt was the one I was getting. History went under investigation. Giraldi is the healthy one for my research. Yeah, that's the one I prefer. Lindt, sometimes I get it at Meijer's, and it's like it's stale, and maybe it has metal in it, but it's stale, and you're like, how can it be stale? And so I tend not to get Lindt. If very rarely will I get it, but I'll get Giraldi, especially when it's buy one, get the second one half off. That's why inflation is not prices, because if they can't sell the product at the higher price, they have to give a sale. Buy one, get the second one half off. So they sell two of them. So really what they're doing is lowering their price from $3.50 to $2.60, because that's the cost of two of them is $5.20. So that's what I normally stock up on when I see it, buy one, get one half off. But yeah, Giraldi, or tomorrow if I go to Walmart, they do have Swiss chocolate. It's like $2, like a lot cheaper. If there was metal in it, they'd probably cost me more. I got the Giraldi 86 cocoa. Yeah, that's what I usually get, either the 85, 86 or the 90. Again, I'm not eating it. I like the taste, but I've acquired a taste, but I'm not eating it as if they're M&Ms. I want to eat like 2 or 4 squares. Well, like now I'd be a little hungry. I'd nibble on a square. I mean, it's a treat, but you don't eat the whole candy bar like it's M&Ms. That's the problem with M&Ms and Oreos. You tend to eat and eat and eat. Dark chocolate, if you notice, you can eat 2 or 3 squares and that's it. You cannot do that with Oreos or M&Ms. You're just, you pour the bag into a bowl and you're just eating all the M&Ms or all the Oreos. That's the problem with them. It's the ingredients that make you keep wanting to eat, like chips do that to you. Giraldi, that's okay, Bobby. I'm struggling with spelling the name of that brand. Yeah, it's some Swiss one and Giraldi, but it's a tasty one. But that's definitely, like I explained, when I go to the grocery store now, I'm going from the fruit and veggies to the spices if I need cayenne pepper or Celtic salt or ginger or things, cinnamon. Ginger root. I shave the ginger root and I just like pop it in the water. That's ginger root in the water. I don't know if you can see it. So that's just shaved down ginger. Oh, that's cinnamon. It's not dirt. That's all cinnamon you put in there. And it's very healthy. Ginger root's very healthy for you. It's all these little things that the doctors don't want you to know, because they don't want to cure you. They want to keep making money off you. I don't even go to the doctor anymore. I go for my gout medicine. That's it. And it's only because I need the prescription because I can't walk or I'm in a lot of pain. And I know the gout medicine will clean it up. but that's it. So again, the problem is the meat. So I'm being very careful with meat because I can only eat so much. I can't eat too much salmon because of the mercury. And now I eat a lot of chicken, but you can only have so much chicken. That's why I do get it at Chinese. It's different, or barbecue. It's a little different. But that's what I get. Do you still drink coffee in the morning? Only decaf. Barbara O'Neill was saying how bad caffeine is for you, and really how bad coffee is for you. So I'm more careful with a decaf, not the caffeine. And if I get pop, which is very rarely, I try to get caffeine free, like 7-Up or something. Diet. I don't want the sugar. And then I'll drink the green tea's fine for you. But you got to be careful of the caffeine. I guess it's just bad for your stomach and stuff. So again, this is why the fast. So last week was 52 hours fasting. I felt great about it. I could have pushed it till Sunday morning, till Sunday lunch, and it would have been another 14 hours. So it would have been 66, 67. But really, I was just trying to do a day. So when I got to 52, my dilemma as I talked to myself was if I've got to get to 24 to get to 48, right? So I'm already at 24, so I should keep going. And then when I got to 48, it was the same dilemma. 48 was Saturday at noon, and I said, well, I'm already at 48. Now I got to go one more day, get to 72, but I can only get to 72 if I get to 48 first. And I'm already at 48, so I should take advantage of it. But I went swimming, and then I said, okay, I guess I'm getting – the walls are moving. I think it's time to eat. And then I had I don't know what I had, but and then the football games were on, so I knew I'd be hungry watching the games. How about blood work? Do you think that's a waste of time? Absolutely. I don't do any of it. I don't go to the doctor. I don't check anything. If I feel fine, I'm fine. If I have a pain, I fast. I'll have the Celtic salt. So I'm always nibbling on this. I'll take 2 or 3, and then I'll do it and take the water. Most of our problems are from dehydration, and we don't get the minerals. That's what the Celtic salt gives you, 82 minerals. And I'll do that. And then if I feel fine, I feel fine. So that's my point. If I feel fine, why am I going to the doctor? Why am I getting blood work? Now, I knew my blood pressure was high, but I was heavy 5 or 6 years ago. And I remember going to this quack doctor, and he tried to say if I have diabetes, it's hereditary because my dad had it. I go, that's type 1. This is type 2. I'm not a kid. I said, so you're telling me there's no way to get rid of diabetes? That's how I found the Dr. Sven. There's no way to get rid of diabetes? Really? And then I looked up, what is diabetes? Oh, it's high blood sugar. Oh, so if I stop eating sugar, maybe I won't have high blood sugar? Let's use logic there. And then I searched on YouTube for how to get rid of diabetes, which is high blood sugar. And then I found Sven, and he said, it's easy. Just fast, stop eating sugar, stop eating high fructose corn syrup. My blood pressure went from 180 to 120, and I lost 50, 60 pounds. And yeah, I guess you can beat diabetes. So after that, I felt fine, and I don't really do any checking. I know what I'm doing. I know if I have a piece of pumpkin pie or a sundae, my sugar is going to go up, but I know then I don't eat it. I don't eat it every day. And then I put it in the fast. And when I do the fast, I know I'm going to be fine because my body's going to clean me. That's why, Bobby, I tell you sometimes to do a 48-hour fast, because you want the guy inside to clean you. And he needs 18 hours to get started, obviously non-union. So it's after 18 hours, he gets going. And so with that's happening, the last thing you get going, go that second day. That's why I did. I could have eaten after 24, but I went 48, then 52 on purpose because I knew the guy's cleaning me. And I knew I was eating some ice cream. And, I'm saying, okay, he's in there, clean me out. And I could see I was getting a little heavy. And now I feel much thinner and I look much thinner. I can see it in my face. My neck gets a little heavy. Um, so I do that, and it really helps me. The fasting, because I know it's cleaning me. It's like, yeah, you can have the ice cream, but you're going to pay for it later by fasting. And but it's fine. I mean, you just drink a lot, and I put cinnamon in my stuff, and the ginger, and if it's tea, a tea bag with a lemon and ginger. I won't use honey when I'm fasting because you can't really have sugar. That's the only drawback. Like today, now I'll have lemon, or I'll have honey in my. I made tea. I had honey in it, but that's really it. So yeah, the fasting, I don't do it to lose weight. I do it to clean up in case I'm eating sugar, and that's mostly when I'll do it. It's my birthday, it's Thanksgiving, you're having a pumpkin pie or ice cream, and if you buy an ice cream, you tend to have, you eat the whole fucking thing after 3 or 4 days. So not only am I having sugar for 4 days, I know I got to get rid of it. So I don't know how fast it gets out of your system anyway, but then okay, now I got to fast. I get guilty and I go, I got to fast. These doctors always want to suggest pills because that's the whole business. That's big pharmacy is selling you the pills. And if you watch Barbara O'Neill, she's saying they're killing you. The pills give you ulcers. They give you the brain problems, the heart problems. It's all from the pills because your body can't handle whatever shit they're in there. Does Barbara O'Neill talk about fasting too? I believe she does. Do you ever get a dizzy feeling when fasting a lot of hours? No. I'll get tired. Like if I'm watching a movie and I'm fasting, I'll fall asleep. But I don't mind it because it's more hours, right? So I'll go to sleep for an hour or two watching a movie. Then I rewind it to watch the movie. I don't normally get dizzy. Like I was on hour 49 and I was at the pool working out and I was fine. I was like, oh, this is great. I feel fine. I know the workout in the pool is definitely helping me. I took a hot tub and I wasn't dizzy. I knew exactly where I was and everything, and I was fine. So really, you're really not, it's not that because you're drinking. The dizziness is because you're dehydrated. But I'm drinking water and tea and coffee, mixing it up. So I'm having enough to keep hydrated so I don't get dizzy. That's why most of your problems come when you're dehydrated. If you just drink enough water and put your little cinnamon and ginger in it and lemon, you're fine. And you drink it slowly. Take a gulp, take a gulp, don't drink the whole fucking thing. She said it's not good for you. So I mean, when you're eating Celtic salt and cayenne pepper and ginger and garlic and cinnamon, what do I need a doctor for? But discovering that's where the genius comes in, where I'm open-minded. So I see a Barbara O'Neill or Sven, and I immediately I'm open to see if they're real or not. But I can tell the way they're doing it, they're real. So that keeps me with an open mind. And that's how you learn because you want to learn. So you're open-minded. And that's what a lot of people don't. They just don't get it. They don't. They think they know everything. Like the guys I try to tell about gold, and they're like, "Nope, I can't get off the path. I'm gonna do stocks." I think you saw my Wizard of Oz thing I did, where it really explains all the characters. It was fantastic. All right, let's see what else what other stoic for Bobby Bow. The Dark Truth about Hansel and Gretel. I got to watch that. Oh, they were saying about the witch with the you got to be careful. She was feeding them all the candy because they were starving. And then they realized she was up to no good. So that was the moral of that story. All right, here's a stoic one. Well, let's do this one. It's all right, 6 rules to become dangerous stoic.
6 rules to become dangerous. 1. Walk slowly. Every step you take should exude confidence. Slow movements command attention and respect. 2. Never answer immediately. Pause before you speak. A thoughtful response reveals wisdom and keeps others guessing. 3. Learn to control your feelings. Master your emotions. Don't let them dictate your actions. For true strength lies in inner calm. 4. Keep quiet about your next move. Silence is your ally. Let your actions speak louder than your words and watch them underestimate you. 5. Don't listen to what others are saying. Trust your own judgment. The noise of others can cloud your vision and dilute your purpose. 6. Develop your fighting skills. Prepare for battle both mentally and physically. A warrior's mindset is the ultimate form of resilience.
See, that's what
Are you looking to establish
that's what I always tell you guys is to
your business using an address
Just
other than your
second.
home? Wish you had a
Welcome back.
That's what I keep saying is what I keep saying is make up your own mind. So when I tell you about gold, now you learn it. Now you understand it. And therefore, now you know, right? You've learned that. Hey, gold's where I should be. And when these guys come up with the noise on Bitcoin or stocks, you just ignore the noise because it's all it is. You've kept your mind open. I gave you a clear understanding of it. And then you've made your decision. I'm going to buy gold and silver. Or I'm not going to buy gold and silver. Howard knows what he's talking about. He doesn't know what he's talking about. But sure as shit, he can explain it. And it makes good sense. So then you come up with your conclusion. Yes, I'm going to follow and buy the gold and silver. And then you don't want to listen to the noise. Your daughter, Bobby, why have gold? Can't take it to the grocery store. That's noise. You got to that's why you don't even talk to these people about it. You end up just saying, I'm not going to say a word about gold and silver unless I know it's friendly fire coming from somebody who also likes gold and silver. And that's really the key to it. That's because otherwise it becomes everybody's a vampire. And then you got to explain to your daughter about gold and silver. Well, you don't want to explain. You already know you've already learned it. You go, yes, that's what I need to be in. You already know that. So therefore, you don't need to hear any noise or try to explain it to people. You can't convince them unless they ask you, what are you in? I'm in gold. Oh, well, I don't know. Should I be in gold? Then you can teach it. But the guy who says I'm in stock and doesn't want to listen and thinks they know, all you can do is laugh at them and we know how the outcome's going to be. That's what I'm saying. It's not an opinion. We know the outcome. The outcome that everybody in gold and silver are going to be rich and free and not a slave, and everybody who's in dollars is going to be broke and have to go on CBDCs or some other bullshit government money where they control your moves and tell you what you can and can't do. Not for me. I want to be free and I want to be rich, and I can be rich off of what's happening by buying gold and silver because it's so cheap. And we understand it's cheap. So it's buy as much as you can. You never have enough. And you got to get out of the dollar because the dollar's collapsing. So it's very simple. And then people that disagree with you, they're just noise. And you don't want to waste your energy because it's valuable. You want to be fresh and smart. And that's what Stoics are. So you're picking your battles. And if somebody disagrees with you, you just walk away. You don't see, that's what I learned. I just walk away. I don't, I barely say hi to most of these people at work because I don't know who the hell they are and I don't want to get into it with them. So I just kind of walk stoically around and go get a coffee, go get lunch, and go get the copier, go to the bathroom. I don't, maybe I'll say hello, but I'm staying stoic where I don't need to say hi to you. Before you're at work and you're, oh, hi, how are you? I don't know who you are, but I'll kiss your ass. Now it's like, I don't know who you are. I don't give a fuck. You could be the president of the company. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not impressed. I'm gonna go have a coffee. And then you're not fighting everybody, and you're not, because you're right. There's no fight. There's absolutely no reason to do that. All right, 6 traits of people with a high IQ.
Here are 6 habits of people with high IQ. 1. They talk to themselves, engaging in internal dialogue.
This sounds like the
thought
genius one,
and
right?
facilitates effective problem solving. 2. They have a great sense of humor.
Oh, okay.
Embracing humor not only cultivates resilience, but also stimulates creativity. 3. They enjoy solitude. Finding solace in solitude offers the opportunity for deep introspection and self-discovery, allowing individuals better to understand themselves and their place in the world. 4. They are open-minded. Cultivating openness to new ideas fosters a fertile ground for problem-solving and innovation. 5. They have high observation skills. Sharpening observational skills enhances decision-making abilities by providing a deeper understanding of the world. 6. They create solutions, not sorrows. Focusing on solutions rather than dwelling on complaints empowers individuals to take proactive steps toward positive change. 6 rules to become dangerous.
So there you go. It's similar to the high IQ one, but you can see you can see the thing. So it's being, again, I'm very observant. I'm always looking around the corners for everything, and obviously good decision making. Let's see. Here's a good one. 5 ways to destroy your enemy.
Here are 5 ways to destroy your enemy without throwing a single punch, straight from Stoic wisdom. 1. Stay calm under pressure. Nothing frustrates an enemy more than your unshakable composure. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Master your reactions. 2. Outgrow them. Focus on self-improvement until their insults and schemes become irrelevant. Rise so high they can't reach you. 3. Be disciplined in silence. Let them waste energy on petty attacks while you conserve yours. Seneca reminds us, to speak little is to be disciplined. 4. Kill them with indifference. The opposite of hate isn't love, it's apathy. Don't give them the satisfaction of your attention. 5. Turn their negativity into fuel. Every insult, every setback, use it to sharpen your resolve. Epictetus taught, what stands in the way becomes the way. Here are 4 secrets that should never be shared.
So if I was in Back to the Future, I would definitely have gone to Rome. Absolutely. I would have went to Rome and met Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius. That'd be a fascinating dinner, eating with those guys. Let's see. This was Alligator yesterday. I played it yesterday. We are on a verge of collapse. A lot of money will be lost. But again, he goes into, it's not gold going up, it's the dollar going down. And you're like, no, you're wrong. Luke, how are you? Bobby was asking if you've been on. I said, well, I think it's been about a week. Well, we were talking, a little stoic for Bobby. He wanted some stoic and some food. Basically, just gold's ready to go. They're hopefully ending the war. I guess Putin and Trump is going to Moscow to meet with Putin, I've heard. I don't know if it's true. This weekend. And Zelensky's ready to make peace because Trump probably said, enough. We're not giving you any more money. Gold's up near 2760. I think tomorrow we could see 2800. It's Friday. It generally moves Friday. We will see. You can just feel it. Like Trump knows he's got to pay off the debt, but they don't realize the inflation. They're still not getting it. I keep seeing all the Keynesians running these countries. They're all sitting there going, well, we're trying to keep our prices down. And you're screaming going, that's not inflation. Inflation is the money supply. You can never get inflation down. So that's where when I see, oh, it's down to 5% or, oh, inflation's down, it went down. It can't go down. It can never go down. The only way is you got to pay it off with gold or some asset like that. You can't, there's no other way. Raising, I don't know. They all raise interest rates, which really doesn't do anything with inflation. They think it makes things more expensive and therefore the prices come down and they think that's the inflation. And you're just shaking your head going, what the fuck? Anyway, keep buying your gold and silver. Just keep getting out of the dollar. That's your goal right now. And I got a feeling it's just about gone. The supply is gone, and therefore COMEX will blow up because they have to have physical to do their derivatives. And once Russia and China take all the physical, then it's gone. Now, I don't know what Trump did with these tariffs on silver and gold with China and Russia. I don't know what's that going to do. They'll get their gold. I saw Russia today putting on fake flags on their oil tankers. Like they don't have a Russian flag on it. They have another country, Montenegro or something. So when they see them, they go, oh, well, that's not Russia. And it's really Russia. So leave it to Putin. What's up with the Trump taking so much about U.S. being crypto capital of the world? I'm waiting for him to talk about gold. Oh, he's talking about it. And this whole crypto thing, he's not going to do it because it's not government money and there's nothing that he can do with it. That was to get elected, and there's nothing he can do. We know it's all bullshit. President's cooking a New York strip medium rare. No, that's what The Rock's cooking. I always wanted to know what he was cooking. You'd always smell what he's cooking, but you never said he's cooking anything. Yeah, I'll cook a New York strip. Love me some Capitol Grill medium rare New York strips with their French onion soup. Yeah, I love their French onion soup. Yeah, soon, Luke, soon. You know what else is a healthy meat? Elk steak. Well, if there's no hormones in it, they're all probably good. I'd had some elk while watching the Ravens-Bills games. It was very good. You should try, Professor. Where do you get elk at, though? And you're getting what, elk? Elk, oh, while watching. Well, I mean, can I go to the grocery store and ask for elk, I guess? I mean, where do you get it at? Some meat place? I've had elk steak in Jackson Hole and Crested Butte, Colorado, elk Meadowlands. Hell yeah, Luke. Exactly, I had elk Meadowlines. Bobby, you buying more crypto or gold or silver? Bobby doesn't own crypto. It tastes good and it doesn't healthy too since so lean. Yeah, and no hormones in it because they're not feeding it. Problem with cows is they feed it all these hormones. That's what makes it bad. It's what they feed it. The elk, I'm sure, is eating grass and natural stuff. I found a little market called Heights Meat Market. I'll look for a meat market. I'll also have it at Wild Fork. I don't have a Wild Fork here, I don't think. I can check, but I just got like a 2-pound salmon I'll be eating over the weekend. Can Trump just announce he's bankrupting the entire system and going to gold? I don't think he would even do that. I would think he would just introduce gold, which I think he knows it's his only out. Being a businessman, he thinks business, and I think he knows I got a $36 trillion debt problem. I got a deficit problem. Bitcoin's not going to help him because it's not a government money. I mean, if we have Bitcoin, he doesn't have it. So what good is it to him? Now, all he can do is tax it. I do think what he wants. Now, if you, as an Austrian economist, what I learned was we handle money better than the government, right? We go shopping and we get the best deals and the best prices. We spend it better than the government does, right? The government just blows it. Oh, it's $1,000 hammer. What do I care? And so with that knowledge, I think he realizes that he wants us to keep our money, especially being a businessman and not a politician his whole life. So I think he knows, wait, if I don't charge them income tax, they keep the money and they're going to spend it in the marketplace much better than the government does. And that's what I think he's going for with this tariff. I don't know what he'll do with sales tax, but he wants to get rid of the IRS because he doesn't want to tax us because he knows we'll grow far more with us having the money and spending it than the government having the money and spending it. So that was always a big lesson learned was they shouldn't tax us at all because if you want the growth in the economy, it'd be far greater if we keep the money because we spend it better than the government. Not crypto. Wonder why he's pumping crypto because he's just to get elected. He said we'll be the great crypto thing and da with never an intention to go crypto, but they voted for him. He got the crypto crowd to vote on social media. I hate that term, to vote. So they voted for him thinking, oh, Bitcoin's going to go higher. And then, Bitcoin goes up to 106. Now it's back down to 102. Why is it going down? Who's selling it? I didn't think anybody sold it. Michael Saylor controls a lot of it with Larry Fink. These are the guys that are buying, $1 million worth, and that, guess what? When the price goes up, they sell it, and the average guy gets screwed, just like in the stock market. Blue Sky or Jet Blue or whatever from Michael Douglas, and he says it, and it jumps the stock price up 5, 6, 10 points. You buy it and then they sell it and the price comes down and you're fucked and they made 10 points. That's how crypto is going to work. But it doesn't work like that way in gold because it's derivative. But and it's getting very close. There's just no gold to be had in COMEX and they can't do the derivatives without physical gold. That's just about gone. Silver, they're 4 years behind. So I don't know what they didn't make silver a tier one asset like they did with gold, and so right now it doesn't have Basel III where people would take delivery. But what they're doing is China is buying right from the mines, and they're paying double. So I don't know what the hell the COMEX price. I know it's about the 8 banks who are bullion banks who are up to their ass in bad derivatives, shorting it, hoping for $22 and $23 silver, which is never going to happen. And they're going to owe trillions of dollars because all of their shorts are going to go bad. I can't believe they haven't at this because normally they're timed. So I don't know how it's so long, but that's why they're keeping the price down. It's the bullion banks with the derivatives. But here's China and now India and Russia buying silver at these prices. It's the buy of the century, silver at $30 an ounce. It's ridiculously low. We all know it. You can't get frustrated because we know it's because of the bullion banks shorting it because of their derivatives and nothing to do with the market, nothing to do with free market. So when I hear these guys on these videos and they say, well, they're just kind of condensing or they're profit taking, I turn it off because nobody's selling silver. Professor, are you familiar with a place called Uncle Henry's Gourmet Meat? No, I'm not, Bobby. I doubt we have it in Michigan. You might have it in Florida. Luke, he's got to lower rates, so he has to relieve the people with tax cuts because inflation is going to go higher with lower rates. The interest rates don't control inflation. That's to lower the prices. Inflation is printing the money, and it doesn't matter what the interest rate is. If you printed the money, you printed the money, and therefore it doesn't matter, right? This is worth 1 cent, right? $100 bill is worth $1. So it really doesn't matter what interest rates are because the inflation is you printed it. You've lost the value of the dollar. So interest rates don't do anything with the dollar. They only try to control prices, which they can't do anyway. Only the market can control prices. Like I said, the guy at the Toyota dealership tried to raise the price on a Camry from 25 to 35,000. Nobody bought. He had to lower the price because the market said, I'm not paying 35,000 for a Camry. And that's the market. So the interest rates, what they did, if I got to buy a Camry at 35,000, it's $1,000 a month. My payment was $415 or whatever in 2018. So that's what the interest rate does. It keeps you from buying it because it makes it too expensive to do it. But it doesn't lower the price. I mean, if nobody's going to buy at 35,000, nobody's going to buy. He's got a lower rate, so he has to relieve the people with tax cuts because inflation's already killing the people. But he wants to totally get rid of the IRS. So we'll see. I'm still waiting on my Social Security. Hopefully I can get it and work. But, what's ironic is I'm working and I'm paying into Social Security, but I can't take it because I'm not old enough. It's insanity. So we'll see what Trump does for me. There's a few meat markets by Detroit in Michigan, but not sure how far they are from me. Detroit's about a half hour, but I'm not going to Detroit for meat. I only go to Detroit for one reason, go to MGM Casino, or if I'm going to Windsor, I got to pass through it. But I don't know. I'm not driving down. I know there's an Eastern market which might have it. The place I go have elk steak. Oh, gator meat, yum, yum, kangaroo and all that. Wow, Bobby. Now it all tastes like chicken? Is that how it works? We need metals to fly. Well, you're out of the dollar, which is losing value. That's how you got to look at it. You're getting out of the dollar. And therefore, you're winning because you're doing that. You're not losing. Right? It's like folding a bad poker hand I got trips, but I'm pretty sure there's 4 diamonds on the board. He's got a flush. I'm going to fold. If he doesn't have it, fine, but I got to fold because the way he's betting, he's got the flush. So you save money by not calling. And that's what you're doing with this. You're getting out of this because it has no value. That's why you're getting out of it. So you're already winning because you're not losing. You got $100,000 in dollars. You're going to lose because it's going to go down to 80 and 60 and 40 till zero. However, if you got it out into gold, you already made money by not losing the 100 grand in the dollar. Now you're starting to make money on the gold. So it's double-edged sword there. You're not losing and you're making. So look at the not losing part for now. The metals will go. It'll be 3,000 soon and then 3,500. And then bricks goes gold back. I put it in that Mark McGuire show from last week with the Three Stooges on it. And one of my comments was, you didn't talk about gold back currency from bricks, $3,000 gold. What the fuck, Mark? I mean, if you're going to have guests on, doesn't mean you can't talk about it. So I'm sure we'll hear about that tomorrow. Because they do read the comments. They never respond to me because I always call them idiots, but I'm sure they read them. I can't believe how bad silver has done. It's not gone. It's price fixed. That's the problem. When JP Morgan is doing derivatives to keep the price down, what are you expecting? Of course, it's not going to go anywhere because it's not in their best interest, JP Morgan, to let the price go up. They lose trillions of dollars shorting it. Now, the question is, what the fuck are these idiots doing shorting it? That's the real problem. If they would just have bought the silver and let it run, they'd have made 20 times more money than they're making on these derivatives, and they're about to lose their ass. They're going to lose trillions of dollars because on these derivatives, you're buying all these contracts, and if the price doesn't drop, like trading places, if the price doesn't drop, you can't exercise the option and you lose. So they're all going to lose on these. They haven't lost yet for some reason. Normally, I didn't think they lasted this long. I thought they're like 30 days or 60 days or something. Luke, silver has been hanging. It's about to break. Just a little more patience. Then once COMEX blows, silver will go nuts. Well, that's the Titanic thing. Once people realize I just showed you, Germany's going, India's going, France, Italy, Romania, Hungary, Poland. All these countries are going bankrupt. All right. So when Germany goes, the euro goes. And what are they going to buy? Especially the Germans. They know about hyperinflation, and they've already got gold. A lot of Germans that I talked to when I was there, they know all about gold. Yeah, we remember 1920, and we remember the hyperinflation, and we know that gold's the out. I mean, Hitler knew that. He kept stealing the gold, but he knew gold was good. So once they realize and it goes, they're going to get their money. First of all, they're going to why the stock market and the bond market and the housing market are going to collapse here. It's because a lot of it's foreign. And when you need to feed your family and you're losing out, what do? You sell your assets. And when you sell your assets, their assets are in US dollars for safe haven, even though it ain't a safe haven. So they're in dollars. So they're going to sell their stock and they're going to sell their houses and they're going to get out of the banks and they're going to get because they need money. And then they're going to go buy gold with it. So they need their money to buy gold. There goes the stock market. There goes the housing market. There go the banks. All because they're pulling their money back because they need it, because their money is useless, because it's worthless. And all these countries are going broke. Don't ignore that. That's a very critical fact right now. 36 trillion in debt, 5 trillion in a budget deficit, and all these countries going bankrupt. Nobody will buy from us. We'll go bankrupt. If you can't sell your goods, you're in trouble. Now, we have a big country, so we sell it to each other, but there are goods that we need from other countries, and there are goods we sell to other countries, wheat and grain and oil. A lot of that, the cotton, that's what caused the Civil War was about cotton. The South had it, and the North wanted to tax, and the South said no. And then the South would sell it to England, and England got it, and the South wanted free trade, and the North wanted to tax them. So the South said, "What the fuck you doing? We don't want to tax it. We want to sell them our cotton," and they used it to make clothes. And it was all about taxes. That's why there was a Civil War. Ridiculous as it sounds. It really wasn't about slaves, but they did free the slaves. But that's not why they went to war. It was about the tariffs on the cotton. So it just shows you that Trump's tariffs will never work. The idea of taxing them instead of taxing us, we all like, but it's not realistic. It'll eventually cause a depression like FDR did. But I wonder how much he'll do and how serious he is. I think he talks a big game, but doesn't do it. He's like one of those that we saw yesterday with the cowardly lion. He barks and roars, but he's got no bite. I think that's Trump. He comes across really strong. But at the end of the day, he ain't fucking with Putin, and he's not fucking with Xi. And he's not, again, we'll do tariffs if the war doesn't stop. And then he's going to stop the war, so he'll never do tariffs. So don't worry about silver. Again, the keys are out of the dollar. I know you got a lot of boxes, Luke. It's just be happy you did. This is the buying. This is Christmas for us. This is buying cheap. It's like buying. It's like getting the Mahomes card for $10. It's Mahomes. It's 50 count. I can get it for $10, and you buy 20 of them. And then you're like, well, why isn't it going up? And I'm going to just keep buying it because it's only 50. It's going to go. Or the Bobby Bo card. Instead, you can get it cheap, so you keep buying it because it's Bobby Bo's card. What city is you, Professor? What is that? What kind of language is that, Bobby? What city is you? I live in near Detroit, a suburb. I looked up Detroit and saw those names. What names? Oh, MGM or something? I think Trump already has aligned an agreement with BRICS for sound gold-backed money. I hope so, because we don't have any. See, that's my point to you, Luke. You always think we have money in your Fort Knox. It's not ours. It's China's. And I think what you got to understand is we don't have any, but it's our only out is gold. We can't come out with another USD number 2 that's also not backed by anything. So if he's going after BRICS money, why would he go after BRICS gold? Only because he doesn't have 8,000 tons. And there's your proof that I keep telling you we don't have it. And you keep saying we do. And I keep saying if we had it, we'd show it, because we'd have to prove we can back our currency. And so I think that's what Trump's doing, is he knows gold's his only out. And as you say, Trump likes gold. I don't know, but he should. But he's a businessman. Everybody with the dollars are going broke because they don't have a value. Like Warren Buffett, I love it. Everybody thinks he's so smart, and he's got all this money saying, hold money and you can buy real estate cheap. That's his plan. And what he doesn't realize is his money's not worth anything. It'll all turn to nothing, and then he'll be left holding $20 billion of monopoly money. So for a guy that's that smart, he's not. He's stupid. I know you think we have it. Then why is Trump signed on agreement with BRICS for sound gold-backed currency? So you got to explain it then. If we have it, why do I need it? I got 8,000 tons. I don't need it. Because you don't have any is why he would need it. He's going to meet with Primus to end the war and get gold. You mean Putin? Who's Primus? I'm going to go with Putin on this one, Bobby. Yeah, he'll meet with Putin. Xi's really got all the gold. He's got 60,000 tons. Anybody's got gold, China, and they make it, and it doesn't leave the country. Although I have seen pandas, 1 ounce pandas at my gold store. But I'm a little afraid to buy them because if they know I got Chinese gold, they're going to kill me. So I have never seen Russian gold. I've seen it on eBay, and I showed Daria, but I've never saw it at the store, Russian gold. You do see the Australian, some of these animal ones, some movie ones. Please do not buy MS-70. That's more expensive, or these rare ones. We're not buying collectibles. We're buying gold. Gold's $27.70 an ounce, $27.60. When it goes to $10,000 an ounce, that's, so why pay more for it because it's graded or it's limited? You don't want to do that. Or because it's a proof coin. You'll never get the value out. So don't do that. Just sit there and say thank you, and you want to buy the gold, just buy the metal. Just buy the material. Now I did, when I got last week I got the Cougaran, and I was curious if it was 999. It doesn't say 999 on it. It's not. It's 22 karat, not 24 karat. So it's like 9-1. And then I was questioning, going, well, is the 24 karat worth more than the 22 karat? And I came to the conclusion it's not, because all the difference is 24 karat, like the maple leaf, is 1 ounce of gold, and that's it. There's nothing. There's no other metal in it. The Cougaran and the Eagle are 22 karat, but all it means is it's an ounce of gold with copper and nickel and silver in it. So there's more ingredients to keep it solid, but there's still an ounce of gold in either coin. So all the 22 karat means there's mixed with others, and the 24 karat says it's not mixed with anything. There's no difference. And when you look on eBay and you look at the values, there's no difference. The Eagle is more expensive than the Maple Leaf, which you go, but wait, the Eagle is 22 karat and the Maple Leaf is 24 karat. Yet the Eagle is always more expensive. And then the Maple Leaf and the Cougaran are the same price, or the Philharmonic. The Philharmonic and the Maple Leaf are 24 karat. The Cougaran's 22, and yet every time they're the same price. So it's only in this, because even though this is 1 ounce, it's not 1 ounce of gold. It's things that are mixed in it. And that's why it's 18 karat, and that's why I don't get a full ounce of gold on it, because it's not a full ounce of gold. But in the coin, you are getting the 1 ounce of gold. Therefore, that's why you're buying it, as long as it says 1 ounce of gold, even though it has other metals. So you don't care about 24 or 22 karat. I'm a little nervous for a minute there, but I keep, I'm saving $40. I got the Cougaran. I paid $27.93, and the Eagle was $28.43 last week. And so I'm saving $40. And I looked at him, should I buy the Eagle? And he says, gold's gold. Why would you do that? Because that's how I always tell him. I only want to buy the gold. So he got me back. He says, no, gold's gold. And I said, yeah, you're right. I should. I was wondering if I should get an Eagle. But when I look at my inventory, I got so many Eagles that I'm fine with it. I don't mind. I don't mind getting the Maple Leafs because they're real pretty. Cougarans I got, and then I want to get more Philharmonics. They are 999s, but they're so pretty. I'm sure he will work out a dealer for gold. Don't worry, Luke. Gold is about to go through the roof. If gold hits 10K this year, I'll tell you the hospital. Oh, that is worth it. And you'll tell it to them at Capitol Grill in Tampa or in Pittsburgh, because we'll be at the Capitol Grill at 3,000. Luke, I think Trump will have Congress revalue gold like they did back in 1931. The Constitution says the Congress has the ability to revalue it. Who knows, maybe 100K. Well, if I really had gold and I got this $36 trillion debt, guess what the price of gold is going to be? So if I'm president, I'm buying as much gold off of COMEX as I can to take delivery of. And then I'm raising that price to $50,000 an ounce so I can pay off my debt. That's my only chance. I can't pay it off with inflated bullshit monopoly money. If I printed 36 trillion of these to pay it off, I couldn't, because it wouldn't be worth 36 trillion. Adding 36 trillion to the money supply would make it worth about 10 trillion. So I can never print enough money to pay off the debt, because as I'm printing more, the value drops. We'll see what the Congress does, but I think Trump, being a business person, will definitely be more apt to do that. All about balancing the balance sheet. Well, you got to pay off a debt, and you got to get the deficit in order. And then you got to pay interest on the debt, so you can never balance your budget, because right there, that's $1 trillion. How much revenue are you getting in from taxes or other sources? So I think that's why Bitcoin's up, is to get 1099 money from the Bitcoin people. So it's really not, it's deceitful what he's doing. It's not, oh, I'm making all this money in Bitcoin. It's when I sell it, I got to pay a lot of tax on it. So you have that, and then you have and then all the stocks are going to crash. People are going to lose money, and It's going to be, again, because people don't want to listen. They want to stay on the yellow brick road and never get off the path because that's what they're told is invest your money. They buy stocks. So the lady at work has a financial planner, and I said, "Did he tell you about gold?" And she said, "No." And I said, "You should fire him because that's the only option you have is to buy gold." She in fact went and sold her silver to put the money into annuity. So she gets 10% of nothing. I love that. So what do you got? 25,000 in annuity getting 10%, which means you're getting zero. Because not only is your 25,000 worthless, so is the 10% because the interest is worthless. Oh, and by the way, you get to pay tax on it. Aren't you lucky? I said, you need to fire the financial planner. He should be looking out for your best interest. All he's looking out as is his commission, like in Attack on Wall Street. Does gold say 999 on it too? The Philharmonic does and the Maple Leaf does. Not the Eagle and Krugerrand aren't 999. They don't say it. They do say 1 ounce of pure gold. And that's what you're looking at. This you're looking at 2422. This is 18 karat. So you are looking at that in jewelry because it tells you how much gold is mixed in the product. So this is 18 carats. So if it's 1 ounce, about 3/4 of an ounce of this is gold. The other quarter is copper, nickel, silver, whatever else. Plus, the problem is I'm paying for the guy to design it and the artist and everything else. I don't want to pay for that. This cost me $550 in 1995. That's when I graduated. And of course, in economics, I wanted to buy the class ring, but it was $800. I said, and it's not even gold. I said, why would I want that? So this was, I went to the jeweler's, $550, and I thought it was an ounce of gold, but it's not. But actually, I paid, an ounce was $250. I could have bought 2 coins, 2-ounce coins instead, and they'd be worth twice as much because they each one would be worth $2,800. It'd be worth $5,600. Gold at $2,800. This is $2,100. And I paid more for it. So that's why I stay away from jewelry, unless it's just, the girlfriend, the wife type of thing. The thing is, the whole world is in the same boat with the outstanding debt. Exactly. And they only have one option, and that's gold. And there's not enough gold going around. That's why the price is going to go to the moon. And silver will follow because people won't be able to buy gold. But silver is money too, and they'll all jump into silver. It'll be the Titanic times 100. Everybody realizing the boat's going to sink, trying to get into lifeboats, and there's not enough lifeboats. And that's exactly what's happening. There's not enough gold and silver for the whole world to get out of their dollars, and that's what's going to force the price to the moon. Because why would I give up I need the gold. I got my gold and silver. It's going to take, you're going to have to give me $10,000 for my ounce that I paid $2,000 for, because I know it's the thing to have. So why would I pay more? Or why would I take less? And then you need it, so you're going to pay me for it, and that's the way the market works. Win-win. They're an even playing field for the world with the new sound money. Well, that's what happens when Keynesians take over. They fuck everything up because Keynesian economics doesn't work. It's communist. It's the government controlling the market, and that can't work because they can't. I want to go out and buy elk. They don't know that. They can't set that price. It's all based on demand, and it's all based on us making decisions. That's why you can never have the government control the market. It must be us. It must be the freedom of us to go ahead and do it. That's your only option. And, that's where we're at is you have to have Austrian economics because Keynesians doesn't work. Communism never works because they can't control the market. How it stayed in Russia from 1917 to 1980 or whatever is a mystery to me. Now, I know you had a war in there and Stalin murdered millions of his own people. Forget the Germans murdering the Russians. The Russians murdered the Russians. And So how it lasted that long, I don't know, but it did. You pay a pretty hefty premium to buy Bitcoin. Oh, really? What's the premium? Bobby, my great uncle delivered one of your kids, gave my brothers a baseball signed by you, probably around 1990. Tell me that hospital when gold hits 10 grand. Well, just, Bobby Bo signed the ball, so we'll see. Just have Bobby sign his name and then take the ball out and see if it matches. Oh yeah, Luke, I hope you still owe that baseball because it would be as good as gold. If only you hit another 500 home runs, Bobby. Then your card would not be worth $2. It'd be worth a lot more. It'd be up there in the Mahomes stratosphere. You could have won some Super Bowls, Bobby. That would have, if you were just a quarterback. He also delivered berries. Barry's kids? Oh, you're a doctor? Okay. What was it like the Pirates the Pirates doctor, the team doctor? That'll be interesting. I don't really doubt it's Bobby, but like I said, who would choose Manila 420 if it wasn't Bobby? I don't know who Pedro Martinez is. We got Pedro Martinez comes on once in a while. I don't believe that's Pedro Martinez. I'm not sure who it is, but usually you're pretty much Luke and Bobby, and I might be the professor or the teaser king, but we all know who I am. But to use somebody else's name, I'm Tom Brady. I mean, I bet Tom Brady says I'm T Brady 12 or something like that. I mean, why wouldn't you use somewhat similar to your name on something like this? Anyway, so tomorrow should be a big day for gold and silver. I think we hit 2,800 and then we hit 3,000. I think once we get to 2,800, I don't know that it'll be stopped because they keep doing derivatives and it doesn't do any good. Today they did one at 8:00. It went down $20, and by 2:00 it was all back. So whoever did the derivative, dropping it like $15, lost their ass because it went from 27.60 to 27.40 back, and it ended 27.70 or something. Yeah, I've seen Pedro here, but he tends to leave when I show up in class. I think he's still upset about the home run that I hit off him back in the 90s. I can't stand watching Bitcoin go through the roof and gold and silver stagnant. Yes, but you know why. Bitcoin's a game and it's a Ponzi. But so think about it. Why are they holding the price of gold and silver down but letting the Bitcoin price run? That doesn't make sense because Larry Fink could do the same derivatives and price fix Bitcoin the way they price fix gold. So keep that in mind. That's what they're doing. But you can't, at the end of the day, you're still in paper in Bitcoin. And in gold and silver, you're not in paper anymore. And that's the goal. We're trying to get out of paper. That's all we can do. Get out of paper. And the only choice is gold, silver, or a Rolex or a Mickey Mantle card. That's your options, or Jordan or Brady. That's it. That's what you're getting. You got to get out of the paper. Bitcoin's paper, right? Because it's priced in dollars and it has no value by itself. So if the dollar goes out, but there's no Bitcoin price because it's not real. And it's just digital, which makes no sense. What's a digital thing? And it's not a dollar because it's not money because you can't spend it. Nobody wants to spend it. They all want to hold it because they all think it's going to go up to $1 million, which is insanity. Why they think that, I have no idea. Oh, well, Trump's coming in. Yeah, but if you believe politicians, you're in big trouble. But he's not doing anything. He's not. What's he going to do? Buy a bunch of Bitcoin? He doesn't have money to do that, right? He's stopping paying Zelensky because he doesn't have any money to do it. He's got a $36 trillion debt. He's going to go buy Bitcoin with what? Well, let's print money and buy Bitcoin. No, why would you do that? Go buy gold. Okay, buy Bitcoin. There's no way he's buying Bitcoin. I'll be shocked. And if he does, it's the stupidest thing in the world. Bobby, you ever faced Charlie Huff's knuckleball? He made a meme coin. Yeah, I saw that, and it's lost value. It's worthless. Although I am seeing a lot of silver. I went on 1 ounce silver today, and I'm on eBay, and there's all these Trump 1 ounce silvers going for $35 an ounce, and I'm like, who the fuck cares? I purposely don't buy Trump silver because you're really playing with fire, because if people don't like Trump, they won't buy it. I want to buy an eagle. Everybody loves the eagle or the buffalo, and then I have a buyer. But if they don't like Trump, I don't have a buyer. Although maybe I would, because they need the silver, but we'll see. I heard he made a meme coin and owns like 80% of it, and recently rug pulled everyone after the inauguration. Yeah, it's losing value. And anything Trump does, I don't really trust him. I don't think he's a really good businessman. His casino went bankrupt in Atlantic City years ago. So I don't know how smart he is as a builder, construction. I do know he's into gold. I know there's a room in one of his hotels. It's all gold and stuff like that. So we'll be into gold before we'll be into Bitcoin. But in the first term, he didn't do gold. Now, it wasn't that bad until Biden stepped in and said, hey, let's spend and spend and spend, and raise the debt to $36 trillion. That's the big elephant in the room that nobody talks about. That kills your whole economy, your money supply, and everything. It's got nothing to do with interest rates. Pay that off, which you can't do. You can't print the $36 trillion to pay it. You're not going to get it in taxes. You're not going to get it in tariffs, because when you raise prices, you get less customers. So I don't know. The only way is to buy a lot of gold and make gold $50,000 an ounce. And you'll get no arguments from us. Believe me. We'll go buy an island and make 20% on a beach somewhere. Yeah, it flew the first day super fast and crashed 50% down overnight. Yeah, I mean, this is silver or a Bitcoin? I think it's a Bitcoin, you said? Yeah, it's a Bitcoin, or it's a crypto coin. Yeah. I mean, the underlying thing that people don't understand is the reason the stock market and the housing market and the banks are going to crash. People don't have money, and they can't pay off their loans at the banks, and they're going to need money because they're losing their jobs. A lot of people are getting laid off. They need money. And so what do? You go to your assets. And that's when they sell their stock and they sell their house and they take their money out of the bank to pay their debts, because they got credit card debt up the ass, because nobody can afford all the increase in prices. So what do? They put everything on the credit card, and gets maxed out, and they can never pay it back, especially if they're not working. So they sell their stocks to pay their credit cards, and there goes the stock market goes down, and they pull the money out of the bank to pay the credit card, and the banks go out. Believe me, you got $100,000 in the bank from a Bitcoin sale, you're never getting it out. Not only does it not have value, but try to go to the bank and get your money out. I've shown you the China clips where the lady goes, I got 1,000,000 won in the bank. And they say, well, you can have 5,000 won. That's it. Out of the million, you can have 5,000. It's the bank's money. It's not yours. Please understand that. You do not own any of your money in the bank. The bank owns it. You can go get it. And if you have a balance, so when I get my paycheck tomorrow and I go take $1,000 out, it says Howard has $2,000. So yes, we can give him 1,000. He does have a credit in his account for 2,000. So if he comes to take it, we can give it to him. And they do that. But they don't legally have to. They can say you don't have any money in the bank. And they're going to say it soon. So 1,000 or two, you'll be fine. 100 grand, you're fucked. Now, I'm telling you now, don't wait until it happens and then say, oh yeah, Howard was right. No. Do it now. Listen, be prepared. Get your fucking money out of the bank. Go put it under the mattress like Bobby does. And he sleeps on very comfortably on all his money and all his silver and gold. The Trump crypto coin. Wonder if he's playing them chess style. He's a good guy, 100%. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Yes, Luca Brasi. It's called a meme coin, just like Elon Musk's Doge coin, where the actual asset has no real use case, but it's just a coin with a picture of a dog on it and makes millions. Doesn't make millions. It's just bullshit. That's my point. They're not backed by anything. Like I said, I told you the story on the one coin, the crypto queen, and she was selling one coin to everybody. And the Russian mafia said, well, I'd like to get it. She says, I don't have it. It's a Ponzi scheme. She made it up. There was no one coin, yet she was selling it, saying it's going to be bigger than Bitcoin. I don't know how stupid people are. I mean, if you say something stupid, everybody believes it. Oh my God, this is why you need to be stoic. You need to question things, right? What do we do here? We question everything. We didn't go to the moon. 9/11 was a gold robbery. We don't believe anything. We go, does that make sense? I'm at the point where I'm watching Die Hard going, the whole movie doesn't make sense because the only reason that the Takaki was there on Christmas was not because of Christmas. It's because they had a big deal that went through on Christmas and they stayed to celebrate, not for Christmas. So I don't know what Hans Gruber was doing there that he needed Takaki because he wouldn't have been there if they didn't make the big deal. And yet they're implying he knew they'd be there for Christmas. So there goes the whole movie out the window. But I'm analyzing that. A lot of these movies don't make sense, or I hate the endings. Even Die Hard, I thought was a stupid ending. Like, really? Like, that was their thing. They're going to steal $30 million, and the safecracker guy gets hit by the limo driver. This is their master plan, and they're letting Bruce Willis kill everybody. Really? That's what they're doing? The masterminds? Yeah, that whole thing, and Bruce Willis is going to take a gun and go. Bruce Willis would have been shitting under a desk somewhere, going, "Please don't hurt me." He wouldn't be, I'm going to shoot them all. You're not even on duty. What do you care? If Hans Gruber was smart, what I would have done if I was Hans Gruber in that movie, I would have said to Bruce Willis, "How about we'll give you 10%? Therefore, it's in your best interest to let us take the money and we'll give you your cut." If you ever watch Kelly's Heroes, it's a World War II movie where Clint Eastwood steals, I don't know, like 160 million gold bars held in a bank behind enemy lines in France, where the Germans were. And he can't get into the safe because there's a big tank. So he goes to the driver of the tank, who's a German, and he goes, "We'll give you 10%. We'll give you a cut." And the guy goes, "Oh, okay." And he turns it around, shoots a hole in the bank, and he's there taking the gold just like they are. That's what you do. You split it with the people who can stop you, and then they're all greedy too. They're business people. They'll take the money. So it just blows my mind. Money Heist was like that, where the professor kept getting the cops to be on his team and give them a percentage. Very smart. Anyway, so yeah, that's what these guys are doing. That's why you can't even, with a good conscience, buy cryptocurrency. What are you, insane? You don't have anything. At least I have this, or I buy this. I have it. It's in my hands. I know it's worth $5. I have the Mahomes card in my hand. It's crucial that you have the card. I bought a Rolex. It's in my hand. No, I didn't, but if I did, I buy it. I have it, right? I have my DI. I love this one. This is my favorite. I love the DI. Well, actually, the Stardust is my favorite. Where is that? And that's what you do. You have to have it in your hand for it to be real. Is Bitcoin real? No, you can't hold it. You don't know. It's just it's a, what is it? A computer file or whatever it is. You don't even know it's real. Yeah, you got money in your wallet. You don't even know if that's real. But nobody wants. It's a beautiful scam because nobody wants to cash in. Oh, I'm going to hold it. This is how naive people are. I'm going to hold it and it's going to keep going up. So I'll never sell it. So you don't even know if you have the money, if you can get the money. And God forbid you lose your password or your code or whatever that is. If you lose it, you're fucked. You can't even get it. So, again, you're not thinking clearly with Bitcoin. All you see, you're blinded by the price going up. It's just like Madoff. You're blinded that you're getting 15% a month, and you're not asking how and why, and you're just blindly taking it. And then he goes to jail, and then you got to give it back. So you're way you don't understand, and that's what Bitcoin is. You don't even know if you have it. You don't even know if it exists because you can't see it, and they don't make it, and you can't hold it in your hand. So Bitcoin, you don't know what it is. But I'll hold it because it's going up in value. That's the insanity of it. You're holding it to go up in value, and it doesn't even have a value because it's not even real. It's not backed by gold. It's really not backed by anything. It's priced in dollars. It's not priced in gold. So when the dollar goes out, what's the value? Zero. Well, what's the value of a Bitcoin? And Luke keeps saying a Bitcoin, which is zero. I mean, it has no value. And then everybody's betting on the if come. Well, when they start losing money and needing money, they'll be selling their Bitcoin, and you'll see it drop. The only thing you won't be selling is the gold and the silver, because that'll be going up. So you might sell it for expense, but more people will be buying it because that's the only thing to go into is the gold and silver. Or like I say, buy a Mano card or buy a Rolex. Buy something solid that's very limited and highly in demand. The price can only go up. The gold and silver is manipulated. So as long as you understand that, it's the bargain of the century, the sale of the century, because it should be a lot more. You're buying a $30. You're buying an ounce of silver for $30. It's worth $500. How can you go wrong there? The Bitcoin's 100,000 that you don't even know if it's real. If you can get it out of the bank, ifs. You have no idea. It's not like you can just go to your Bitcoin bank and take it out. It's not money. You can't buy a house with it or a car. Nobody's stupid enough to take Bitcoin for a house, a car, or gold. Luke, wonder if he's playing them chess style. He's okay. Bobby, call a meme coin just like, okay, I get it. Luke, gold and silver is God's monies. Well, the thing with gold and silver is it comes out of the ground, so you can't print it or copy it. What do we do with this? They print it to fucking death. They make trillions of these things. But you can't do it with gold and silver. That's why gold and silver is around. Gold's indestructible. It's beautiful, so everybody likes it, and you can't print it. So there's just a limited amount of it. And as people see it, and then they realize it has value, everybody wants it. So it's like the Lord of the Rings. It's like the precious. Once you have it, you want it, and that's how gold is. Once you see it, you have it, and then you're addicted to it. Every Friday, I want to go cash my paycheck. I want to buy more gold and silver. I don't care what it is. I don't want to be in dollars, but really, I just want to buy more gold and silver. And that's it. Like when I go buy it, I put it in the safe, and I just it just keeps growing. And but that's the thing. But I know it has a value. You can't lose value because you can't print any more of it, and that's the key to it. Luke, Bitcoin is only valuable because it's digital scarcity. It's not scarce. It's only gone up because of Michael Saylor and the Russians and Larry Fink now are pushing the price up. I heard there was 10 whales who keep pushing the price up. That's it. Everybody else is about to get fucked, but they're the ones buying. Michael Saylor buys like a million, I don't know, a couple $1 million every month or something like that, or he buys 1,000 Bitcoins a month. That's the only reason the price is going up. And then Larry Fink did the ETFs, which is pushing the price up, but then he plays around with it and he does the derivative up and it goes up. And then when it hits 106, he shorts it. So he's fucking around with it. Don't trust Larry Fink. He's an evil man, and I wouldn't want to be on his team at all. Luke, once the money printing stops and the world goes gold standard, Bitcoin is done growing. Well, nobody will want it because when the money stops, so does Bitcoin. The value of Bitcoin zero. So you want gold and silver because the value of that is you buy silver at $30 an ounce and then it hits 2,000. You made, well, it won't even hit, it'll hit 2,000 until the dollars go out. Then silver is the money. I'll never forget the guy in the sauna going, well, how are you going to sell your gold? You have to get back into fiat. And I said to him with a straight face, very stoically going, you don't get it. That will be the money. Gold and silver turns into the money. It is money. And no, I'm not going to sell it for fiat money. That's the whole point. I'm getting out of fiat money to have gold and silver. And it will be the money, we're not going to come out. I don't want more of this shit. I want the gold and silver. And it is money legally in the Constitution and in Roman law. Gold and silver are money. I can go to any country and I guarantee you they'll be happy to take my gold and silver, not my Bitcoin, but my gold and silver. I guarantee you if I went into a restaurant in Italy and I offered them, it was $100 meal and I offered them a 1/10 of an ounce of gold, not a problem. Not a problem. Or if I offered them 3 ounces of silver, not a problem. They'd take it. I guarantee it. Needed to be created to fight the money printing Ponzi scheme. Well, that was the object of Bitcoin, was to get out of the dollar and not have government control. And that's why he said limited to 21 million. Now, isn't it funny that the price is $100,000, but they haven't sold all 21 million Bitcoins? Isn't that kind of weird? You'd have thought at that price they'd be all gone. So no, Bitcoin, the intent, it came after the 2008 housing crisis when the people wanted to be out of the dollars because the government manipulates it and obviously inflated it. So I understood the concept, but the answer is buy gold, not go into Bitcoin. Going into Bitcoin was never an answer. It was supposed to be money. It's not. It's not traded. You don't buy and sell with it. You don't get paid in it. So it isn't money. It's a collectible like a baseball card at best. Only you're buying something that you don't even know what it is. You don't see it. Those Bitcoin gold things with the B on it aren't Bitcoin. They're gold. There's no such thing as a Bitcoin coin. And like I said, the $100,000, great. We're happy it's there, but nobody's selling it. These people are the dumbest gamblers in the world. You've gambled on it, it's hit, it's 100 grand. What the fuck are you waiting for to take it out? Oh, well, it's going to go to 200,000. Oh, really? I'd love to see you at a roulette table. Oh, it's hit red 5 times in a row. It's going to hit red 100 times in a row. Okay, yeah, you're a good gambler. I mean, people should be taking their profits, just like you do in stock. You're in the Microsoft at $50 goes up to 100. You're selling it and you're taking your profit, because any day Bill Gates can be convicted of a crime and the stock tanks and you're fucked. So you have to take your profit. That's just normal gambling, and don't be fooled. Everything's gambling. The stocks, the bonds, everything's gambling. The house you have, but you're gambling the price will go up, and it doesn't always. And the money in the bank, you're gambling you can get it out, which you can if it's a lot. You got $1 million in the bank, you're never going to see it. You can maybe take 10 grand out. That's it. You're never going to get the $1 million out. The only thing you can do if you have $1 million is to go to the gold store and use your debit card, and I want to buy all this, and not take the cash out of the bank, but use the debit card to get the money and buy gold with it. That would be the only way you can use it, or pay off debt, but you can't actually go and get the money out. So don't think you can. No, they're going to all collapse, and when they do, your money won't exist. Gold, if you have gold in your house, it's always going to exist, and that's really the key to it. So anyway, keep that in mind. All right, I'm pretty tired. It's 11:30. 4 hours. That's a lot. One of the Walmart kids bought 50 million in American Silver Eagles last year. Well, that's good. Why didn't he buy Bitcoin? See, when Russia and China buy all the gold, and all the central banks, the BRICS, buy all the gold, my point is, why aren't they buying Bitcoin? Because they know gold's money and Bitcoin isn't. That's why. They don't know what the value of Bitcoin is, because it fluctuates. Gold they know, and silver they know is going up in value, and you can't lose with it. Bitcoin can still go to zero if the dollar goes out, but gold and silver doesn't need the dollar. If the dollar goes out, you have the gold and the silver, which is money, and that's the difference. So that's the point of gold and silver. You can't print it. You can't, therefore, inflate it. Therefore, you can never lose with it, and it's being suppressed, which we're on the verge of killing COMEX, which then the roof comes off of the price, especially because China and Russia want a higher price. If you have all the gold, as China's got 60,000 tons, believe me, they'd be much happier at 10,000 an ounce than 2,700 an ounce. Okay, Luke, have a good night. Yeah, I'm working tomorrow, but I'm going to work from home, and got my check today, so I'm happy camper. And I already sent Daria her PayPal, so I'll show you what I got her, then we'll end it. So this is what she calls a closet. This is $200. She says she doesn't have a closet. I says, is there anything else you need? I got her wallpaper, and she says this. She says, my clothes are always wrinkled. I got to iron them every day. So that's what I bought her. So it's $200. 20,000, and P's an R in Russian, so that's 20,000 rubles. But when you do the math, and it's $100 an ounce, or $100. So $1 buys you 100 rubles. So you just divide it out, it's $205. So cheap enough. Thank you, Bobby Bo. Well, it was nice to have you guys here. Yesterday, I was freaking out. I had nobody. I had zeros. Like here, I can say I got 5 people, 3 likes, and you guys with comments. Yesterday was just nothing, and I'm like going, should I still do this? Where is everybody? Now I came on at 7:30. The night before was 9:30, so I kind of understood that, but I was like going, what the fuck's going on? Anyway, how I don't have more students, I just don't understand. I think it's fucked up because of the I talk football and I talk gold, so they don't know where to put me. Because you'll see like Mark McGuire and Gold's going to do this, and all these guys, Peter Schiff and that, and they have little pictures of gold. I just have my Caesar's Palace background, but I think because I'm in both, that I get kind of left out, and plus I don't do the advertising, so I don't get in the algorithms and all that shit. So I don't know, but there should be a lot more people than this. Good to see you, Bobby. Buy more silver. Yeah. Keep buying, boys. As long as you have dollars, keep buying. Get out of the dollars. You're getting out of the dollars, and you're choosing gold and silver because there is no other option. Like I said, you can buy a Rolex. So that's going to cost you a good one, 40, 50,000. It'll hold its value, but because the gold is suppressed, you'll catch away. Like it'll go from 2,700 to 10,000. The Rolex isn't going anywhere. And the mantle card, surely the one I show you for 75,000, the PSA 965 tops isn't, maybe goes to 100 grand, but the gold's so light, but we're just waiting for COMEX. Once they run out of gold and silver, it moves. All right, I'm going to sleep, and I will see you. Well, tomorrow's Friday, so that should be good. And then on the weekend, we got the football on Sunday. I've given you the winners. Washington 34, Philadelphia 30, and Kansas City 27, Buffalo 24. You can't beat Mahomes, and Daniels is the best quarterback besides Mahomes and Joe Burrow. And Jalen Hurts, really? All right, everybody. Have a nice night. It was a good, interesting talk, health, girls, and economics. So enjoy, get out of your dollars before they lose all their value. And that's what's going to happen. It's not an opinion, that's a fact. And that's what's always happened with dollars since the Romans. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. www.teaserking.com. If you're interested in emailing me, you can get the email there. All right. Ciao, everybody.